Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome back to Stamford Bridge yet again. Where today we are joined with a very special... Joined with, not by, joined with. Okay, we have morphed into an amalgamation. Very well. Joined by Basic Logic, a very special guest. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
It'll be a pleasure, I'm sure. So, you've had... what, your channel's been... up for about, what, a year?
Yeah, it's been a year and 6 days.
Yeah, and 6 days precisely. Nice. And you have blown up enormously recently, too. I saw, I think you were covered by the Asmon Gold like 3 times the last month.
Oh, it's been more, actually.
More?
I think we might be at 6.
Damn. That is pretty awesome.
Man, I'm very just glad he's been enjoying the videos this much. it's been quite the blessing.
I'm glad to see that people can still blow up on YouTube, because I don't know whether you've noticed, but it seems that YouTube's been a bit of a dead space for new content creators for about, I don't know, 6-7 years now.
Yep, I can't speak to that because I don't have that experience.
Well, yeah, obviously if you don't, but like, you know what I mean though, like. The interesting and viral videos and like the new content creators seem to be on like Twitch and things like that these days rather than on YouTube. So I was getting a bit worried about it, to be honest. Not that I need to be new or anything, but it's good to see. It's good to see a platform that's alive. Whereas right. I don't know about you guys, I really struggle to find anything to watch on YouTube these days.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
It's really weird because YouTube is a massive platform, but man, it just shows me the same old fucking shit.
Yeah,
for me, it's a weird combination of both. Where seeing new content is usually on the Twitch side, the streamer of the month, the flavor of the week style stuff, and at the same time, YouTube is showing me a lot of new stuff, but it's usually the absolutely newest stuff, like somebody who started streaming 6 months ago and doesn't really know how audio works, streaming works, video works.
Oh, like us, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I also don't know how streaming works. my audience will not stop telling me that I screw up the audio in every stream.
Oh, it never gets any better.
Not only that, they lie to me at times when I'm trying to get like, hey guys, how's the audio? They'll straight up start lying to me, and I don't know when they're telling the truth or not.
Yeah, entirely
Thanks,
normal,
guys. Yeah,
par for the course.
Yep.
Right, so today, normally we just like chill out, watch a video of some random nonsense on these, but I figured since we have 3 pseudo-intellectuals gathered in a room, we'd engage in a bit of good old-fashioned fart huffing.
Okay.
Am I? I don't think I'm British enough to know what you mean by fart huffing.
Don't worry about it. Neither is Arch. He still knows.
It is the ancient and honorable art of pretending that you can solve all of the world's problems by a 2-hour conversation.
Oh, all right. I'm well acquainted.
Because, okay, there's a lot of interesting things going on recently, politically speaking, I think, as we are beginning to enter a period of transition right now. So we've lived through the worst of the woke, and now we're entering a new era of still fairly woke, but nowhere near as woke, or stealth woke, as many are calling it. And amusingly enough, as Gramsci once mentioned about a new time and time of monsters, we don't really know what's going to come next, and the right has been struggling mightily to figure out what the fuck it is, or what it's going to do now.
Yeah.
And so, I wanted to talk today about the right-wing cathedral, whether or not we need to build one, and what the fuck the foundation of that cathedral will be.
Valid enough.
Ignorant slut.
It is a a point of contention that I've had with older right-wingers is that they usually have a lot of optimism for the online space and AI and other things along those lines. And I'm usually telling them, we have the online world on lock at the moment. I think ChudTube, the Chuds have taken over the online space. What we're worried about is the real life space, and that's something my generation doesn't know what to do in the real world. We're completely lost when it comes to the real world. We don't have communities anymore, or institutions, or churches supporting us. So we can handle the online space. We don't know what to do offline.
Get a girlfriend. That's literally it. That's you're going to have to go out into the real world.
Hard to find quality one these days.
Yeah, you're going to have to go out into the real world and have sex with an actual woman. I'm so sorry
hopefully marriage first. Eh?
Well, this is the question, isn't it? This is the point. What is the right wing, and what should it be asking for?
Because the interesting thing now is, so we've kind of constructed one portion of the cathedral, the right-wing cathedral, in that we've kind of assumed the position of journalists within this space. As you say, we've got the online on lock, but we do not have any institutions, and we can't even really just take over the old ones, because many of them will eventually fall to our influence as the inevitable passage of time, etc., and our positions become more commonplace. But I don't think most of us even trust those institutions anymore.
We are the institutions are still powerfully gate-kept. So even in their death throes, I think it's unlikely we'll be able to affect any change within them until we have comprehensively won outside of them. This is actually what happened with science. It used to be that the universities were, as Francis Bacon put it, the distempers of learning. They were scholastic Christian dogmatics. So when Bacon and his fellow early scientists, were trying to actually get some proper work done, they were basically called heretics, which is, the same as calling someone a misogynist or a racist. And they were forced to found the Royal Society in order to actually get any proper work done. And we, I think, are probably going to have to go down the same route. If only the richest man in all of human history was even vaguely sympathetic to our plight. But alas, he isn't.
Listen, at this point, Elon is just like, oh, this place is fucked. I'm going to go to Mars.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm so glad he retweets every now and again. But I'm not asking for myself. I don't need anything from Elon. What I would like him to do, though, is just put 50 million down into something right wing, a tiny fraction of his wealth that he would never notice, and he could change everything. He could win everything instantly.
Well, there's the thing, right? So, we've got the online world. We have become the journalist class, although I hope a tiny bit more honest, God willing.
Yeah.
But the institutions, okay, let's say Elon Musk wakes up tomorrow and is like, well, I'm going to create a right-wing institution. What would he even make? What are we looking to form here? What element of the right wing are we going to institutionalize? The online portion? Which part of the online portion?
Honestly, a right-wing university would be a great start.
What will they teach there, though?
Well, loads of stuff, obviously, could be taught, but the most obvious step forward would be to create a more well-rounded and traditional form of the education that is being subverted in mainstream universities. A really simple thing to do as well, because all of these curricula have been around for hundreds of years, so you could just revitalize them. And you can also actually include non-progressive thought in this as well. So if you're going to do a history curriculum, you could involve Thomas Carlyle, for example, who was a supremely popular historian in his day, but of course got slagged to death by the libtards. So nobody now knows who he is. And these present different ways of looking at things that have happened that actually might be quite useful. And if it turns out that test scores are good, results are good, intelligent people are produced by the institution, then it will have outcompeted its enemies, and its enemies will fall into line, which is why they teach science in the universities now.
Okay.
It's a very long, long game we'd have to play.
Yes.
I don't think we have the time for that, though.
Time.
Wow.
Time is an interesting question, too. Because
if we had the time, then I think the university strategy would probably just be objectively the right call. That's how the left did it. Why can't we do it?
Well, exactly.
But when we factor in the time preference, then I start losing some faith in that.
Yeah, because the time too becomes a problem, because you then have Sargon coming forward and saying, well, Thomas Carlyle is the ideal here. And I guarantee you...
Well, no, I'm not saying he's the ideal, but, it would just be good to have, right-wing thinkers taught at universities.
Mm-hmm. I can then near guarantee you that I could find 10 other right-wingers with 10 other ideas.
Well, sure, and then we should do those things too.
But
we could bring back the original universities where people with different ideas got together to debate them instead of teaching one pre-agreed set of beliefs that everyone has to follow.
Yeah.
That would be indeed pretty close to the ideal, but then we enter into the kind of left-wing thing again, where all of these things will become disagreed upon. They'll start actively disagreeing with one another, debating one another, becoming antagonistic to one another. As this seems to be like the nature of the connected space that we've now seen sped up online.
Yeah, but that's not bad.
It is if it results in another uni doctrine.
Well, the reason that we have woke as a monolithic, as you say, uni doctrine, is because actually woke is the final form of a set of principles that have dominated the West since about 1900 onwards, right? So it's just the most pure interpretation of liberalism. But you don't have to be a liberal. And so if you're not a liberal, if you have people who comes from different perspectives that don't share necessarily the same rational and principled position, and now have to actually engage. Like, for example, I'm not saying I want this, but if you had Islam, Christianity, traditional conservatism, or whatever you want to call the kind of Carlylean great man cyclical history school, and then you had liberals, they would never really come to an accord that they all agreed with, because their metaphysical the metaphysics is too different to be able to actually come to any solid agreement on anything.
At which point one side would start to oust the other.
Well, I mean, assuming that no set of common behaviors could be agreed upon, maybe that would be the case.
I think almost certainly. Especially as, again, one of the principles of wokeism is to not be very tolerant of competing ideas.
That is true. But okay, maybe that's an inevitability, but that doesn't mean that we should abandon the process, even if it's not a process that lasts forever.
Well, that's where basic logic's point comes in very strongly, the time, because we would basically have to have the long-term debate between all of these now competing right-wing views as, first and foremost, to even which one should be represented. And once we've finished that debate in 4 or 5 years' time, we then need to begin constructing these institutions.
Well, I mean, ultimately the right wing has to ask itself, what is my purpose?
Yep. And I don't know how close we are to a solution on that one.
Well, I mean, I don't think anyone on the right is actually even asking themselves that question, so I don't think we're anywhere near it.
Yeah, because that's kind of what I want to talk about today, right? Because There seems to be a definitive promise and appeal to the idea of the cathedral, because it's really goddamn effective when you have a centralized idea and point of purpose, which we very much so lack. And it was the end of the original Gamergate, and it's probably going to be not the hard end, but a soft end of what we're doing now.
Probably. Well, the thing is, the reason the left can organize effectively is because ultimately they all do want the same thing to varying degrees and in different domains. And it's, how to describe it? You could call it like anti-order. I don't just call it chaos because that makes it sound
like Warhammer 40k.
Yeah, but cartoonish, right? What they, I suppose we could call it liberation. They want liberation from all unchosen bonds. And the right wants to build a just moral order, I think. Correct me if you think I'm wrong.
No, just moral order. But that could also very easily be a weakness. So
it very much is.
There's the interesting question of, like, I've been thinking one thing. So let's assume that the right wing begins to gain real ascendancy, right? And a lot of it's going to be based on morality, which I think most of us agree on to some degree. If we do create that, I have this feeling that there's going to be a lot of people who will become new adherents to this idea, who will then start asking why the previous generation didn't do more to stop the left wing. Especially as we...
already risen.
Yeah, I think it's already happening.
There is so much resentment in my generation for the past few.
Yes.
Is it safe to say that you're a Zoomer?
Justified? Yes, I am a Zoomer. Yeah. Some of it justified, some of it excessive, but I think most of it is quite justified. How did things get so bad? Especially if you read up on history, it's like, wow, we had the best civilizations in history, and you all threw it away for nothing.
It's not even you need to read history. You can just look at videos from 40 years ago.
Right. Well, for someone my age, that's history.
Sure, but it's within literally my living memory, you know.
But not within mine. That was a joke. But yes,
yeah, I know. But what I mean is, you know, when you say, "Oh, I read about history," it makes it sound like you're reading, like, you know, about Rome or something. It's like, no, this is really recent that this has been lost. So honestly, I think the Zoomers are actually not angry enough, to be honest. It's genuinely abominable what has been done with your future, really.
But then
I think
also
when it comes to answering the purpose for the right, if your goal is just to get control, you can probably just sell the Zoomers on being able to eventually have a family and a society that doesn't hate them and that they won't go extinct. And that should be enough. You don't have to go much more into the metaphysics beyond that. And I think the only thing you'd really need to get them from that point, because right now we have an overwhelmingly large generation of young, disaffected men who don't have a purpose in life, hate everything, and have really nothing to lose. All you really need is organization, some higher order organization, ideally from the church. Unfortunately, the ordered church leadership is so disgustingly weak.
Yeah.
Yeah, that isn't going to happen. That will require basically an entirely new church being formed at this point.
But you know what? Maybe that's what. Yeah, exactly. It's not outside the realms of possibility, because I really am coming to the conclusion that, like, retaking the institutions is going to be a problem. In that, it's going to be a huge amount of work. It's going to be heavily contested, and I find it unlikely that Zoomers will find themselves in such positions of power within these organizations that they can keep it on the Zoomer approved path, right? Like there are too many people in too many other generations who are too committed to the path of destruction. And so I can see an argument for the Zoomers basically starting anew with a bunch of stuff.
Yes. In fact, I too think that is almost guaranteed to be necessary, because if you look at it, the institutions will require a tremendous amount of effort to capture, a tremendous amount of effort to maintain, and at the end of the day, even if we do so, we are then going to have to convince our own to trust those institutions that already betrayed us.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it's going to be worth the effort, frankly.
Yeah. But if the Zoomers were able to make new institutions that were actually capable of proving themselves as being productive, meritorious, and generative, then the war would be won without the great struggle in the meantime. What we just need to do is get enough Zoomer autists to become experts at things.
Yeah, the question of how to create these institutions and organize is what's going to decide here.
Well, actually, sorry, just on that. Actually, creating an institution is actually really easy. Right? All you have to do is have people who are interested in joining it and can get paid to do the work. That the problem is where we're getting money from.
Right.
Yes, because you are in a situation where whatever you're beginning to build, you're going to start from basically scratch, and you are going to compete with institutions that not only have hundreds of years of history, but also an enormous amount of financial backing, often either from the state or from forces within politics with vested interests.
Yeah, or just like Harvard gets billions in endowments from just students, former students who just want to support the institution.
Right, so that's not exactly winnable, especially for a young generation who has no experience in institution building.
Yes.
Let's see. I was going to just look up real quick. So Cambridge University, of course, has been in the spotlight quite a bit recently. Their operating budget is holy fucking shit. Several. That can't be right.
Go on.
£726 million.
Okay, I thought it was going to be more than that, to be honest.
I don't know. I think that's a fucking incredible number myself, but
it is a lot of money, obviously. But isn't Cambridge? Is it the oldest or second oldest university in England, and therefore the world?
Yeah. So
it's,
I mean,
but creating an institution with the prestige of Cambridge is not going to be an easy feat. So, you're comparing to the very top of the pile here, whereas I'm sure there are many other universities that don't have a budget and overall income nearly anywhere near that. That's a lot more achievable, and has a lot of scope to grow.
Yeah, but it's just like the amount of money is staggering.
Yes. Starting something grassroots, competing against such overwhelming odds, even if eventually you do win just on quality alone, again, it'll take too long.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
and there's also the fact that most people my age are looking at, I want to own a house, I want to have a family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm not that interested in making an institution that maybe in 3, 5, 6 generations will finally get online and be able to ensure all these problems. I need to sort my own issue out first, and then I can start thinking outwards.
Yeah. Financials is another thing as well, because once upon a time, and this is a fascinating thing, reading history books from like just the 1900s, you have people who are experts in multiple fields, who have developed multiple high-level skill sets, and who have the genuine finances to start building schools in these fields, even as they construct their own life. Whereas today, as you say, basic logic, what's the dream of the modern day man? Oh, I don't know, owning a house at some point, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not being in debt, being able to afford one, maybe 2 children.
And now we're really pushing it too, not being in debt. Okay, I'll see you in 30 years.
Yeah, I think that ship sailed. You'll probably end up in some sort of debt. If it helps, children are not actually as expensive as you'd expect. They obviously do cost some money, but you don't have to buy them really expensive things for them to be happy. You just have to love them and give them your time, and your time is free. So, actually, the expense thing, I think Zoomers are worrying too much about that.
But it's natural to worry, though. Like,
Yes,
nobody
it is.
wants their children to grow up poor.
Well, of course, but there are worse things than growing up poor. Way worse things.
True.
It's not a
That's
curse.
true, but you don't want your child to grow up poor. You don't want to be poor. You also want to enjoy life. So we're going to have to aim for something a little higher if we're going to sell the new generation on it.
Uh-huh.
I agree, but I think all I'm saying is don't let it become this, because I've seen it in the millennials. Like, the millennials are insane. They're like, oh no, I haven't got my life together. I haven't got this, I haven't got that. It's like, you're not getting any younger, and as I said, it's not that expensive. It's not that big a deal, and your kids will play with you at a play park for free all afternoon if you let them, and they'll be really happy. It'll be one of the best days of their lives. Everyone's worrying about money too much when it comes to kids.
Perhaps. Now, Logic, you mentioned the church, which is an interesting topic that I'd like to expand upon a bit here as well, because obviously the modern church is not up for purpose, so some sort of reconstruction would be required.
Yeah, the modern institutions of the church are pathetic.
Yes,
Disgusting.
they're...
Christianity has saved Europe before. I fully believe it can do so again, but it won't be through the institutions that we currently have.
Yeah.
And there's another tremendous danger to this as well. Now, for the coming generation, I think Christianity could be an extremely positive message, especially if rebuilt properly. It's going to meet enormous public resistance, however. And this comes from the fact that, like the boomer generation, even the millennials to a fairly large degree, all grew up with the memory of the moral busybodies of the Christian right being the ultimate enemy. Any resurgence of that is going to cause almost guaranteed gridlock within those generations. And then also comes in the idea here. So we have a new generation who are quite upset, and justifiably so, with the previous one for not having done more. And this is a topic I often see repeated in my own comments and chat as well. The idea of like, okay, but why don't you just throw caution to the wind, just go full ham? And my argument is always like, listen, we can do that, and we won't be on YouTube anymore. We will not be effective anymore.
But just for anyone listening, obviously everything we talk about is circumscribed by the fact that our governments are tyrannical. Actually, Logic, I don't know where you live, but my government's tyrannical.
Mine too.
And yeah, I assume you lived in Europe.
We can just assume that these days.
Well, it's the accent. It's the accent. Like, I assume you like Germany or something like that.
It's common.
Yeah. And obviously YouTube is, I guess what we could say, an enemy platform. So everything we will be saying is circumscribed by that understanding, chat.
Yes, but that is also a logic and logistic argument, which tends to not go over well with those who have suffered the hardship.
Are you ready to rut this yellow mare's fluttery, buttery?
Which also, I think, means that the right wing is also set to start purity spiraling hard in the next decade or two.
It already is.
It is, and to a degree, it's necessary. The amount of subversive people have just infiltrated it is kind of insane. We're dealing with like recently. There's been another person who's blown up similarly to me. I'm not going to name names because I don't want to talk about just internet drama. But another one was blown up recently, and he's just a gay communist, just straight up LARPing as a Christian right winger.
Yeah, I don't know who you're talking about because I barely have time to pay attention to the online sphere anymore, so I will not.
I'm surprised even I know about this. It's because I have another friend who's like really into internet politics, and he made an entire documentary on it. It was very cool.
But
I was very shocked
entirely
because I actually watched some of this guy's videos, and so I was surprised.
Yeah, because I agree. Because I'm seeing
you'll
the
have
same
to
in a
like
more
DM me because I'm
thing.
curious now. You can't just leave that hanging in the air. I'm very curious. Someone DM me that channel because I want to watch it.
I can DM. Well, do you want the documentary or do you want the actual
no,
channel?
Well, the actual channel. I'll add you
Okay.
as a friend on here so you can DM me if I can figure out how to do that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Actually, I'd like to see that too now.
Yeah. Now you said that, it's like, well, come on, you can't keep this from me.
But this is definitely becoming a common thing, where I too have been seeing a lot more people who were once either left-wing or at best neutral, now being like, oh, I was, of course, I was always on your side and so on. And the fake Christian is a thing I've been seeing a lot of recently.
Yes.
To the point where it's like, it's not even subtle. You look at the person and go like, no, come on, you're not that. And it's like, no, God changed me. It's like, did he though? Are we sure?
Honestly,
sometimes they don't even bother. Like, sometimes they just put on the lip service and maybe have a cross sometimes, and then just continue on with degeneracy openly in front of people.
Yeah, there are loads of people like that.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, right? I get this from my Christian friends all the time. So when are you going to convert? When are you going to convert? It's like, look, man, I'm just not someone who feels religious. And they'll be like, yeah, but you're living like the most Christian life. I'm like, well, that's good because I agree with it. Like I'm married. I've got
Why do you have to feel Christian though? Like this whole. Perhaps you know this better than I do. But when did Christianity become about feelings? That seems recent. It's not something I found in history.
When you see now what you're assuming, I think, is that there's a kind of rational Christianity that is based on the presupposition that there is a divine aspect to the universe, and Christianity can be reasonably argued to be its representative in the religious space. Well, I'm one of those horrific Generation X atheists who was raised as a pure materialist my whole life, and so I'm just not a spiritual person. So rationally, and I know that I've got loads of friends, listeners, and whatnot who understand that I am a hardcore Christian ally, even though I'm not a Christian, because I can't bring myself to believe. And it's literally like, I feel like it's a kind of disability, by the way. I think that if I wasn't raised in I'm going to ask you a question.
It's not a bait. It's not a trap. I'm not trying to argue. I don't want to turn this into a theology thing. It's just so I get a better perspective of what you're saying. Do you believe material is self-sufficient or not?
Well, I can't say I've too much thought into the question of whether it's self-sufficient. Do you mean, is there an original prime mover?
Sure. That's usually how people talk about material self-sufficiency.
Yeah. Well, I personally haven't got a hard answer on that. I mean, logically, it has to be no.
Right.
But the problem I have, I didn't want to go into a debate about this. Is I hate having to do it because I just don't believe the story. I just don't believe the story, and I can't bring myself to believe it.
Okay, the story, yeah. But by then, if you do just at least concede that material is not self-sufficient, then you wouldn't be a Gen Z materialist atheist. A Gen X materialist atheist. You'd be a Gen X materialist deist. No.
Yeah, I don't know if I. Again, it is a matter of faith, I think, and there is something about the way that my generation was raised that has genuinely killed that part of us, I think. And so, as I say, you're rationally correct, but I don't feel it.
Are you ready to rut this yellow
But you have to feel it,
buttery,
I would
because
kind
I
of
think the
agree
faith
with
has to.
Could it have been from a prior, perhaps your generation or the one before, that started this feeling thing? Because I didn't get it. I got to see like my professors crash out on arguments about when they felt things were true or not, but it was never drilled into my head that I had to feel something for it to be true. It seems feminine, to be honest.
No. What? Well, I don't mean. I suppose feel is the clumsy word that we use to describe a soulful experience with transcendence, and that I can't bring myself. I just don't have that in me, and I think that's what true religion really is. I think the problem that we have with this sort of rationalization of religion is that it makes it utilitarian. And so the religion isn't really truly believed. It is logically deduced. And therefore, if the logic changes, well, the religion goes away.
Wait, I'm not following. Are you saying that logically true stories can't in themselves be beautiful?
No. What I'm saying is the foundation stone of religion, I don't think, is in reason. I think it's a felt belief.
Well, I don't want to turn this into a debate, but yeah. It's the feeling part that perhaps it's a difference in the ways we were raised. That I don't see the feeling part as even relevant, to be honest.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
With my generation, in fact, I've done some evangelism, and usually I get some pushback from people saying, "Well, I don't feel this is true," and then I just told them, "Well, you don't have to feel that it's true. It's just a matter of does this make sense?" And that at that point they usually become Christian not there long afterwards.
The thing is, though, that I think leaves you open to the shitlib Reddit new atheists, and when you agree to debate the subject of Christianity purely on the plane of reason, I think they can beat you on it.
They can, if I'm not very good at debating.
It's not even you. I don't mean you personally, but I mean they can actually win the argument on rational grounds, because the non-material begins with a transcendental assumption, and the transcendental assumption is not based in propositional reasoning. So
that's true, but then you have the alternative is the material being self-sufficient, which is rationally untrue.
I don't disagree. But this is why I haven't squared this circle yet.
Like I grew up with the atheists on YouTube owning the Christians, and I was an atheist back then as well. I was mostly an atheist out of rebellion because, little fun fact, I grew up in the Middle East actually.
Oh, really?
Yes. We went there for work, and so I grew up there, and I had a very big distaste for Islam, and so I was kind of like an atheist just as act of rebellion, even though my family had nothing to do with Islam. We not even from there.
Yeah.
And so I grew up with that and all that. I saw all the atheists owning the Christians, and now I look back to that and I realize they were debating some very retarded Christians.
Oh, it's insufferable. I've said this before, but the other day I saw Sam Harris literally saying, "I look up into the sky and I can't see God." And it's like, oh, for fuck's sake, Sam. How is it after 30 years of debating religious people, you're still saying shit like that?
Well, look at the type of people he's debating, right? It doesn't have to go beyond that.
Well, yeah. I mean, I completely agree with a lot of the points you're making here, and I find myself to be a better theologian than a lot of the people that Sam Harris would debate.
Right. That doesn't take much work.
It doesn't, but I shouldn't have to be.
No, I agree with you. So in the place I live, there's no Protestant churches, and I ended up following a Protestant tradition. My options here are Catholic or non-denominational. And so I went non-denominational because I knew I wasn't Catholic.
Yeah.
In maybe a few weeks of study, I had already surpassed all the elders and the pastor at the church. And that's not me bragging or saying that I did something really impressive. It's that they were really, really behind.
Yeah.
What?
It's a statement of disappointment.
I don't know how some of these people can call themselves lifelong Christians since the cradle. They're like 60 years old, and they know nothing.
Yeah.
Well, I think largely because this comes from the fact that Christianity isn't frankly taken seriously. And this is where some of the faith argument comes from, like the not understanding the concept of faith. And much like Sargon, I haven't given this much thought, and so I can't speak particularly eloquently on the topic, but I know that my relationship with Christianity and all of the preachers as well was frankly defined by antagonism more so than anything else. It was constant negotiation with the book and the liberal world. The idea of, well, this passage is obviously a little silly, those old people and their hocus pocus, but there's a liberal moral point to be taught in this. Like, Christianity was almost very much so a secondary, almost getting in the way element of Christian teachings.
Yes, I noticed that pattern as well. They couldn't realize that their beliefs are self-contradictory because they followed some insane made-up theology about a feelings-based God that is just about supposed to make you feel better all the time. And then they just had to do away with the verses in the Bible that contradicted that constantly.
Ready to rut this yellow
I think
buttery,
I think that what I getting to the base of that actually is the importance of what we are vulgarly terming feelings, and it's not really feeling. I think conviction is the right term, maybe, but it is. There are things on which you have a true conviction that, again, may not necessarily be logically based in a reasonable proposition. It might be something you can't explain, that you are not prepared to compromise on. And it seems that the Christians compromise so much that they don't even believe in their own doctrine. If you thought...
You're right on that.
I mean, hello, cat. Sorry, one of my cats has come over. If you thought God was literally like, I will damn your immortal soul to hell forever if you X, Y, or Z, you would never tolerate it. Like, if you thought this was genuinely, like, actually going to happen, you'd never tolerate any of it. And would have a world full of really devout Christians. I mean, it would literally be like it was prior to the Enlightenment. But people have just lost their faith so comprehensively that even the Muslims aren't really Muslims. So it's just like...
Well, there's the interesting thing, isn't it? Because it really does seem as if the Western liberal world is near antithetical to belief. Like, we are a poison to belief, to the point where we can even poison Islam, to the point where we have, like, the debate we watched last week, where you have people going like, I'm a devout Muslim. However, I don't believe in most of the things in the Quran.
It's mad.
Yeah, I've seen that as well.
And
so
this,
what
I
I'm-
think,
I need to
is going
quickly
to
use
be...
the bathroom. I'll be right back in a minute.
Yeah, no,
You are allowed. This will become a tremendous challenge to any idea of using any religious institution as a rallying point. It's going to be really hard to convince people. And
well, the problem is religion makes a metaphysical claim to truth, and science seems to be demonstrating that these claims aren't true. And no one is able to demonstrate that science isn't true. And therefore,
and to further complicate the question, as our science is also, more often than not, quite heavily based in morality today as well, not only is it impossible to prove that it isn't true or is true in case of the religion, but it now also becomes immoral to the point where even the preachers go, yes, no, well,
well, look at what's happening with Nathan Coffness at the moment. Nathan Coffness, for anyone who doesn't know, he's a race realist who's just been cancelled for believing that there are differences between human beings in the aggregate.
I don't know what's going on. Is he being cancelled for that?
Sorry?
I don't know what's going on with him. Is he being cancelled for that? They thinking human beings are different?
Plagiarism. Nathan Coffness is the guy who revealed Arday's plagiarism, and then they were like, oh, but this guy's a race realist, and they were like, oh, cancel him.
That guy. So I think I saw something like that now to mention it. That was used as an argument to try and debunk the fact that he was revealing his plagiarism.
Well, it's not just that. It's been a form of attack that's got him cancelled from his position at Ghent University.
Well, I think that what's got him cancelled, because he used to be at Cambridge, I think, and then they kicked him out for Arday.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
Thank you.
But yeah, the point we're kind of getting towards is it's going to be really difficult to bring back religion in a liberal Western world.
Are you ready?
Well, it's, like I said, it's because religion makes fundamentally a claim to truth, and that claim to truth is constantly undermined by science.
Depends on the claim you're making, though. It's like if I take a hard creationist position and start insisting that the world is 6,000 years ago or something like that, then yeah. But if I make more the claims around morality and the things that honestly I think are actually taught in the Bible and the scriptures, then I haven't seen an issue.
Okay, but there are certain historical claims to truth that Christianity hinges on, such as the resurrection of Jesus.
Yes.
So if that's a claim to truth and it can be proven under a scientific paradigm, it will never be truly believed because science is the metric by which we actually believe things.
The aesthetic of sciences.
No. The replicability of science. I mean, when you get on a plane, you believe by your very action of getting on that plane that the science behind getting you into the air and then back on the ground is correct. And thank fuck it is.
Well, you don't actually know the science when you get on the airplane. You have conviction that it's gonna work, and it's probably based on perhaps your past experience or other people telling you that it's probably true.
It's
so you go in
your
there
own
without you really understanding. You more or less, you guys like, yeah, this makes sense. I mean, people are flying around; they're not dying most of the time, so this should be fine.
But that's the point, isn't it? That's the point.
Yeah.
Whether so you don't have to understand it to know that it's true.
Right.
Whereas, and until people have that attitude towards their own religion, then it will never be that religion overcomes science. And when you take your religion seriously and go, no, that is true, and you look around and, oh, look, there's a sodomite parade there. Okay, well, what am I supposed to do about that? Well, the Bible's, the Quran, all of the Abrahamic religions are pretty damn strong on that subject. They're pretty clear on that subject, and yet nobody does anything. So it's like, right, so you don't truly believe, right? In the same way that if you didn't truly believe that the plane was actually going to take off and come down safely, you wouldn't get on it.
Oh yeah, I agree. You can judge the faith of a Christian by what he does. Yep.
Yes.
And there comes the complication.
Scripture does say that. It says, show me your works to show me your faith. I butchered the quote, but...
Sure. I know the quote you're talking about. But the point is, nobody is actually doing that.
Yeah.
So
we have a lack of Christians issue.
The religion itself not only becomes an aesthetic, but also I think it is the reason that is the issue. Right? If you reason yourself into a position, it's actually very reasonable to say, well, I might reason myself out of this position, so I'm not going to do anything stupid in the meantime, because I might not agree with myself in 6 months or a year's time, or whatever it was. Whereas you're not reasoning at all when you step on an airplane. You know that airplane is going to go up, assuming the pilot, there's no accident.
Assuming the pilot isn't diverse.
Sure, yeah, exactly. Assuming there's a straight white man of about 45 flying that plane, that plane's fine, right? So,
well, no, I'm taking an educated guess, and I'm pretty certain it'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. But you're so certain you're willing to risk your life on it.
Yeah.
So so that's not just pretty certain. That's absolutely certain. Because if I was just pretty certain,
I'm never absolutely certain on a plane. I don't go through all the effort of testing that out and vetting the pilot and making sure. And planes are never 100%. I have a tolerance for how much probability. I have a tolerance for how much risk I'm willing to accept.
Yes, and everyone does. Yeah. But there's an underlying faith that plane will fly normally.
Yeah.
Right, and that's what I mean. It's not rational. Like you said, you didn't check the pilot, go and check the plane. You've done nothing of your own. You just went on their own faith that this should be fine.
Well, it's not irrational. I'm doing the work of thinking.
I didn't say it was irrational. I just said it was not rational. It's non-rational, and that's fine. It's totally fine. Most of the things we do every day are non-rational. Like, it's not rational when you choose what you're having for breakfast this morning. What do I feel like? But this is the thing. And so to be like, okay, so now we have to rationally adopt our religion. It's like, I don't think that's enough. I really don't think that's enough. Even if we can be clever clogs and say, but matter isn't self-sustaining, is it?
It's going to be very difficult because the problem is you're now going to engage in a competition, basically. where you are competing over reason, and competing over reason with liberalism, especially from a religious position, especially with what is going to be almost certainly a hostile audience as well. Oh God, that's going to be difficult.
It will be extremely difficult, especially if your religion is false. If your religion makes the claim that this is the truth, then you should be able to demonstrate the truthfulness of it, or at least the falsehood of the alternatives.
That's fair. I mean, I don't think demonstrating the falsehood of the alternatives is sufficient, actually. I think it has to be demonstrating the truth of your own claim.
Well, it depends.
I don't know. I think you can always find something that is just able to stand outside of what you are able to debunk, basically, even if it's not true itself.
Yeah, but then people, at some point, they need to make a choice for anything. Yes. And if we're dealing with a choice of something that might be true, might be not true, but we haven't fully confirmed it, or something that we know is true, it's something that we know is false, then they're going to choose the one that might be true.
That's correct, yes.
Yeah,
they will.
That's also even then, the reason I abandoned atheism, at least part of it, is like, okay, well, I know this one's false. So now I need to make a decision.
Yeah. And that's fine. But I don't think that is what most people think. I think most people, frankly, they're not cerebral enough to go down that road.
Yeah, I think most people operate on beauty.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think most people operate based on basically what has won the common argument. And beauty is, of course, a part of that, aesthetics, etc. But this is also what becomes very difficult then, because at the end of the day, it's not even necessarily the best argument that wins. See wokeism. It is the most convincing argument repeated with the most conviction.
Yeah.
And that's, again, where Christianity is going to have a very, very hard upward struggle due to the previous antagonism built up towards it. Furthermore, I think that Christianity would lend itself naturally to that purity spiraling. And whilst there is a degree of necessary purity spiraling, like I hate on an instinctual level the people who pretend to be part of a movement that they never backed before, precisely because, and you can tell it is for self-gain. Like, these are venom to a movement, but simultaneously, the purity spiraling was what also began to destabilize the left and can easily destabilize the right. I don't know if there's any way to avoid it either.
All right, before we get on to purity spiraling, and I don't want to sound negative, but I don't know how to say this without sounding really negative.
It's okay, I'll forgive you.
Once a god is dead, it can't come back.
Well, Christianity mostly talks about one that did come back, but that's a separate.
Sure, but I mean, God himself did not die.
I get what you're saying. We need to recast the spell of magic. We need to reintroduce magic to the world.
That's not the position in Christianity, no.
Okay, but
we do say God died on the cross.
When a religion then, right? Because the problem is when you were the paradigm and things have moved past you, the true belief, the forces that forced the paradigm shift don't disappear, and you are still subject to all the same arguments that brought about the end of the paradigm in the first place. A really good historical example of this is Julian the Apostate. I have a real soft spot for Julian the Apostate because I think I love lost causes. I love them. I think they're romantic in some way, and his desire to revive paganism was genuinely quite romantic in the face of what was otherwise absolute Christian dominance. But he couldn't do it. And it's the same, I think, for Christianity now in the face of science.
I think you can push back. If people were convinced by a false paradigm, would cause the paradigm shift based on false grounds, you can always go back. We have that happen all the time, in fact.
I'm not saying it's a false paradigm, though, because I think the problem that we have is we're in the realm of religion, which, of course, is pretty unfalsifiable. So it's not about being able to prove it. And even if we're having a conversation on grounds of proving truth or falsity, then we're in the scientific paradigm and science wins again.
Okay, science can win. If you have a false religion, that's very scary. If you have a true one, that should be fine.
Yeah.
Now,
The problem is-
we were convinced that all religions, including Christianity, were false some time ago. I think that's a false paradigm shift, and we can always backtrack on that.
Well, I mean, I would like that to be the case.
Yeah.
But I'm not convinced that it is the case, and there are historical precedents in my favor on that one. But it's totally fine. I would, like I said, I would like it to be the case, and this is why I don't want to get into a theological debate, because I'm actually I'm not very doom and gloom outside of religion, but when it comes to talking about religion, I'm pretty black-pilled.
I think that's a very common thing for the older generation, though, us fossiles.
We also have the reverse example. We actually do have examples of religions coming back with a vengeance, in fact, especially in the Islamic world. During the Abbasid Caliphate, for example, when they were very much experimenting with things that we could nowadays kind of call modern liberalism, experimenting with feminism, experimenting with sexual deviancy and the likes. And all it took was a minority of radical Muslims and the decline of their empire to seize power. So religions, even a false religion like Islam, can come back with a vengeance if the previous paradigm fails.
The thing is, I'm not sure that is the failure of Islam. Though I like your example. I'm not sure I'd consider that a failure of Islam. And I don't think the true belief of the Muslims, as in their true faith in it, not that it is true, was actually ever really in doubt. Whereas we're constantly having doubts in our own true belief in our own religions.
I'm sorry, could you give me an example or what do you mean? Because I'm a little lost.
As in, I think that they were trying to figure out what the correct interpretation of revealed Quranic scripture was.
I'm sure some of them were, yeah.
Yeah, but the point is the paradigm was Islam. Just what is real Islam is the question, whereas that's not the question we're asking.
Well, isn't the question what is real Islam in their society the same as the question of what is truth? What is true?
Well, I mean, it's definitely what they were answering the question, what is true, with.
Yeah.
But the point is the agreed upon answer of all sides was Islam, and everyone was like, okay, well, what does that mean, right? Whereas we don't have an agreed upon answer that everyone's trying to figure out the definition of.
Well, we actually have one side saying that there's no such thing as truth, and they're making that as a...
Exactly, that's a great point. Like, we're so far away from being able to have a conversation in the way that they would have had. That this is why I didn't want to get into theology, because I'm so black-pilled on it, man.
Well, so I think the fun part is that you don't need people to agree. Not all of them. You only need the small minority that count. I mean, the Abbasid Caliphate overthrown by, I think, around 5% of its population, which were radicalized.
Yeah, but I don't know about that anymore, because we are very much so in an era now where we are arguing over the attention of the 98%, and they are the ones who are deciding things. We need to be influencing the majority. The days of relying on 5% to overthrow is probably over.
Well, I think the 5% rule is just part of human nature. I think the 98% thing is a falsehood. In reality, democracy is just set up so we can give our power to media oligarchs or someone else who can buy an election. It's the same situation.
Yeah, I agree. I think that no matter what happens, it's always a minority of people. I mean, I've been arguing with a bunch of elite theorists recently, but they are fundamentally correct on that. It's not we're not looking organically for answers from the mass of the people or anything. They will overall just do what they're taught, which is fine, normal. The problem is persuading the people on the road to getting to that position, and I'm not very optimistic about that.
Well, that's precisely what I'm saying. Like, we are the small minority arguing, but we can't really do anything without convincing the other majority. And eventually somebody creates a culture. And that culture then is established.
We're not the small minority that count, actually. We are just a few people talking on YouTube. If we had the power to overthrow a government, then we'd be the small minority.
Yeah.
We are part of the goyim. Can I say that, by the way, on stream? Nice.
Well, it's a bit late now, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I said it so naturally because I say it on every other stream, but is it okay if I keep saying it?
Yeah, that's fine.
It's fine? All right, thank you.
But yeah, we are in a sort of dispossessed state at the moment. You are right.
Well, we are in the dispossessed state because we're in the middle of forming a new culture that will hopefully be broadly adopted. That's what the progressives did. They created a culture, or more correctly, conquered a previous one, that then became the dominant paradigm.
Yeah, but the problem is they've got really good antibodies against us, and we aren't operating from within the existing paradigm. We're operating from outside of it, which means we have to build up a real critical mass in order to overthrow them, which is a hard thing to do.
It is. Really, it is a difficult thing to do. But we are already building up a lot of the critical mass. What we really need to do, if anything, is construct those antibodies, because we don't have them, and we are still far too trapped in previous morality to often be willing to do so. The entire Charlie Kirk situation has been a fantastic demonstration of that, where there was a brief moment where there was a flicker of those antibodies, but then everybody started, oh, well, yeah, I mean, I guess he should be allowed to say that. And now, a year or two later, they're holding concerts celebrating it.
Yeah, the right totally lost that particular inflection point.
We need, the problem is too, like, to build these antibodies, we require conviction in our own beliefs, and not merely the conviction to be able to hold them ourselves confidently, but to, in essence, enforce them upon others and demand that actions be taken from these convictions.
Correct.
I think perhaps this is good news, but for the Zoomers, the only thing keeping them from rebelling against modern society is fear. Their morality does not inhibit them from actually going out and doing what they think is necessary. Their fear comes from the fact that they think they'll lose if they try.
Partially. I do think that is an element of it, but I also do think that there's a lot of, like, because it's all too easy to speak about rebellion and then speak about the fear of rebellion, but actually carrying out that rebellion is something very different when action meet words.
Yes, we don't know what we're doing, and so we're scared that we're going to not do it well.
I do enjoy your characterization of the Zoomers, though. That was entertaining.
I mean, I fucking hope you're right about the Zoomers, by the way.
I hope you're right too.
No, there's a portion of this generation that is just completely brainwashed since birth, that there's no saving it. And then there's a portion of this population that is, they have nothing to lose and they're really angry.
Yeah.
We are so done and we are so back.
And the fear isn't even a case that if I lose, something bad's going to happen to me. It's, I don't really know what to do to get what I want, so I'm still biding my time. That's the fear.
Interesting.
Yeah,
when they learn what
direction
to do, then that'll change. But yeah, that requires direction, and we don't have that.
Well, see, this has been a wonderful example of my opening point of the Cathedral, because we then spent an hour going back and forth over details, over the floor plans. Like, no, the tiles should be over here. No, they should be this way.
Yeah.
Well, I think you'd probably want to trade out having cathedral institutions just for one person who's able to organize one takeover of one city in one Western country. Which obviously completely hypothetical for no reason in particular. But
in Minecraft, yeah.
Yes, in
Minecraft, of
so
course.
So one person in Minecraft led one takeover of a city, got rid of every single immigrant there who's not supposed to be there, and actually enforced that paradigm. It had a show of strength, and that when a retaliation came, they were unable to take back that city, and so the people who participated are fine. That person becomes king of Europe, probably, or at least that region.
I see the theory, but as somebody who has been obsessed with military matters for a very long time, this is going to require somebody to invent space marines.
Right.
Yeah. Well, hang on.
Let's go for it. Then how do we do it?
Yeah. Like I don't know. There's a certain sort of effeminacy in the managerial paradigm that I actually think is to the Zoomers' advantage here. If it were seriously done, then I think they would not be able to easily undo it. The problem is basically you'd require essentially like a regiment of the army to declare independence.
A regiment. Try entire
Or how-
corps.
Sorry, yeah, however much, you know.
To put it like this, during the American Civil War, the overwhelming majority of the military sided with the South, and they were defeated.
No, yes,
Yeah.
but that's one thing. You're thinking in terms of like declaring a war against the state. We don't have to do that. We can play the same game that many of the immigrant populations do. They just take over a neighborhood. They don't announce it. It's just theirs now, and they're enforcing Sharia law or something else. And that's just how it is. Now, we're going to face more pushback if we did that in Minecraft from the institutions.
I
So
would
the
immediately
only-
then
the
argue
trick here-
that the Minecraft problem is not declaring war on Minecraft. It is having Minecraft not declare war on you.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, I mean, the best example that we have then is Orania, right?
Yeah,
Not that one.
unironically poor
No,
already.
unironically, I mean, they built themselves a town on their own merits and by their own rules that it flies directly in the face of the ruling orthodoxy of South Africa. And the South African politicians are well aware of it. They don't like it, but they don't know what to do about it.
Heresy's the
So
question.
that would
Fire
be
is the
essentially the
answer.
model, right?
I think at the very least it would be an excellent baseline to aim towards, because yes, Orania is a place everybody knows exists. It's very successful. It works on morals and ideas that are completely opposite to the rest of South Africa, but the government can't do anything about it, or at the very least, there is not the will to do anything about it.
Yeah. Well, anything they
Service
did about it
guarantees
would be
citizenship.
brutal.
And it would look unfathomably bad. It would be brutal.
Yeah.
It could not be excused, and it would be obviously negative.
I actually have a bleaker outlook on Orania. I think if the South African government is smart, they have a way of subverting it from within.
Oh, yeah, go on.
They could definitely start passing some laws forcing some kind of integration. Start off just a little bit. And if the
I'm pretty
Iranians
sure they already
refuse,
have them.
they already have that?
Yeah, I'm pretty. Yeah, absolutely.
So they've already started
America.
the path of subverting Orania then?
No. Well, this is why they hate Orania, because it flies in the face of the integration laws. The issue that they have is that Orania is on private land, and so they are able to put up a sort of defense. But the thing is, when I was doing this video on Orania the other day, it's obvious that at some point there will be a government that is particularly bothered about Iranian's existence. Because I mean, it's only like 3,500 people at the moment. So at the moment, the South African government has got way bigger problems than Irania, right? But at some point, I think there will come a South African government that's like, no, we're just not tolerating this, and therefore the clever mechanism you're using to pretend like you're staying in line with these laws but not, whatever it is, we're going to just impose, basically. So I just think it's a matter of time until that happens to them.
Yeah. I agree
In
with that.
fact, I would say that the move to do so, to destroy Orania, began just a couple of years ago. Because if you've been paying attention recently, there's been a bit of a media blitz over the last year or so about influencers suddenly discovering Orania, articles being written about Orania. Attention being drawn to it. And all of it is near universally like, well, is this racist? Should these be allowed to exist? Kind of the earlier stages of tipping the toe in the water, and then slowly, gradually, over the course of years, this will grow more strident.
Yes. So I mean, the Iranians are going to have to going to be a tough one to stick out, I think, for them.
Construct an organized militia in Minecraft.
They already have one. They're all armed.
Is it big enough?
No, there are only 3,000 of them.
Ah, there's the problem.
Yeah.
Well, they might not be able to win. They could make it too costly.
Well, I mean, the South African
Because
army is
going
way
after them
bigger
would-
there.
Yeah, but at some point it's just not worth the bullets.
Mhm.
What would actually taking Orania really benefit South Africa? It's not the town that's going to provide anything major to them. It's mostly ideological at that point.
Oh, it's
Purely.
completely ideological.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe a morale win for their government.
Yeah.
I think the Iranians can make it more costly than it's worth, at least for some time. I have a bleak outlook in the far future, though.
I honestly, I think it depends who the president of the United States is. If it's Trump or Vance or someone like that, yeah, they're fine. But if it's really not inconceivable. You get some fucking Democrat president who comes out and says, "No, Orania is white supremacy. This can't be allowed." And the South African government, like, "Oh shit, yeah." I mean, it could be that President AOC threatens to cut any aid to South Africa if they allow Orania to continue existing.
Harboring racists.
Yes. I genuinely don't think you can write that off.
Yeah, no, that could do it.
So it's one of those things where, like, I don't know, man. And it's not big enough to resist the government. Nowhere near.
We could, of course, enter into the question of guerrilla activities in Minecraft, but
yeah,
that's also just really, really, really difficult.
Yeah. I mean, Orania succeeds because it creates a safe haven in a dangerous country. If Orania itself becomes dangerous, people won't live there.
Yep.
All right.
Again, bad. I'm not trying to be a black pillar or anything, but like, I just think these are true things.
No, I agree with you.
So, that has been a very wonderful, stimulating conversation, honestly. I like to get started on the super chat, so we might actually be able to end on time for once. And the vague hope.
Continues. Yeah.
As I'm sure there's going to be some opinions on our previous conversation as well, which will require further 20 minutes debate.
Of course. Yeah.
But I was actually very happy with this because, from my perspective, it's like, listen, okay, let me ask about the cathedral and then have a demonstration of how difficult it's going to be building this cathedral.
Oh, yeah.
Also, chat, we're at 907 likes. Can we get the last 93? Come on, chat. I know you. I believe in you. I don't have the Asmongold sponsorship. I need to resort to these cheap tactics.
Man, I'm so glad Asmongold's on our side.
Yes.
It's been very helpful.
Yeah. Same
I'm not biased at all. It's been very
he
good.
covers my videos as well, so it's just like, yeah, you know.
And genuinely, like, he is a big, powerful barometer for the normie, so he is very influential.
Yeah.
No doubt about
Also,
it.
on a personal level, I just quite like him. You know, I bet he's a chill dude to hang out with and play video games with.
Yeah, I can see it.
Let's see here. Wesson, dear Mr. Benjamin, why should us, the most generous and gracious of all chats, like this video when you can't be a proper Englishman? Start on time.
I'm not in control of when the stream starts.
Oh, you're just throwing Arch under the bus?
100%, because he's in control of it.
Well, Sargon,
It's called accountability.
just last week you were 144 hours late. I don't think you have a leg to stand on here.
Well, that's actually my parents' internet wasn't working. Otherwise, I would have happily come on stream.
Is this the English position now? Just reach for the nearest human being and throwing them under the bus?
Look, I'm not in the wrong if I'm not in the wrong. And I don't see why I should take someone else's fall for them.
That sounds awfully German all of a sudden.
What? German.
Russ Garbage Human, Basic Logic is a legend. Make sure to subscribe. Do indeed. Hopefully, unless I've managed to boomer it somehow, there should be a link in the description down below. Gangwin, praise be the Logic Boy. Calvin Coolidge, yo, Sargon, is it true that the village of Pidgington wants to join the USA and defect from the UK?
I don't know if they've actually had the independence vote yet, but I support Piddington's insurrection against the Crown and its mercenary band. For anyone who doesn't know, the British government has decided that they're going to take a village of, I don't know, like 500 people and put like 1,500 boat rapists in it. And it's like, oh, okay, thanks very much.
Right.
Yep.
Germany did this as well, by the way. It was mad.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that. Because there was even a little thing where the occupancy was to begin with, like, oh well, you know, this'll be great. It'll bring our sleepy town back, and then the consequences began manifesting, and they were upset.
In a rational world, that would be called a war crime.
You know,
Using sexual terrorism effectively to displace the people.
Unironically, there are precedents for this. Pakistan and Bangladesh. What the Pakistanis did to the Bangladeshis.
Oh, well, this has loads of precedent. There's like invading and raping other people's women have been a common practice for a while now.
Yeah, but I mean, like, state directed.
Well, this is one of the interesting things as well about ownership over the right wing as well, where we left out one of the major contesters, which is another fundamentalist religion of a more Eastern persuasion. As recently, so the whole Ketwa event, for example, Morocco has now made statements basically saying that, listen, these parts are part of Morocco, and so if they happen to be flooded by Moroccan citizens, well...
Oh, fucking hell, man.
You could just hand it back to us.
Back.
They've never owned it.
Yeah, exactly.
In its entire history, they've never owned it.
But that's the beauty of it. Like, they have the balls to just go like, yeah, we're going to invade your country. Are you going to call us on it? No? Oh.
If I was Spain, I fucking would.
Well, the Spaniards are in. Well, the Spanish government is in on it.
Yeah, I know.
But the Spanish government probably sent them the reassurances that they wouldn't call them on it.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, Spain's run by communists.
Yeah, Spain has had a weird history where they actually were the only ones to be conquered by a fascist regime, and then were ruled by one for a very long time. Successfully, I might add. And then it fell, and now they're communists, just like everybody else.
Yeah. But I mean, like, actual communists.
Yes, no.
Like, not just like libtards, you know.
Carson Kazmiri, nice things about Basic Logic videos is they are short, pretty concise, and easy for normie to digest. That's true.
Yep. They used to be shorter. Used to be like 3 to 4 minutes. But then I realized if I want the mid-roll ads and get more ad rolls, they need to be 8 minutes.
Well, I do think that's a very good strategy. Like, I've been thinking about trying to lean more in that direction myself as well, because I come from the generation where we basically had to explain everything in minute detail, and I've had videos where I basically explained leftist thinking for like half an hour to frame how they arrive at this position. And frankly, I don't think we need to do that anymore. I think we've arrived at a position now where reality is firmly enough established, to the point where we can just go like, no, this happens, this is real.
It's not even that. We've already done it. Like, we don't need to do it. What? We are the people who literally did it before it was cool.
Yes, and so it's probably quite fine by now to just simply state, no, this is real.
Go back and look at my previous corpus of work.
If someone's willing to spend 30 minutes to watch a more exhaustive video, they're also going to be willing to just Google any terms or data that you bring up in the video and don't explain. Great. And so, in the end, the more concise video just helps the people who want to speed along, and it doesn't really hurt the people who want to go in depth, because I assume they have the capacity of Googling things.
Well, to be fair as well, like many of these things you can't Google. Like, beginning to research intersectionality for yourself is going to lead to severe brain hemorrhage within the first 30 minutes, and you'll be on page 1.
Yeah. I was mostly referring to like special terms or data, the likes.
Yep.
That way you can cut off a lot of the fluff.
Although I tell you this as well, within 5 to 10 years, we are going to be faced with a left wing that will have utterly renounced everything the left wing previously has done, whilst maintaining all of their positions and values, mind you. And they'll sit there going, how dare you compare me to the wokies? Can you prove that they did these things?
Well, I can, but yes, I agree. Yeah.
And we will then be dragged down on an hour-long side tangents. Like, no, let me lay it out again.
It's going to be worse, right? They're going to be like, woke? Sir, you can't believe you besmirch my honor. All I want to do is transition children. How dare you call me woke? That's what it's going to be like.
Yes, it will. There'll be more words and more obfuscation, but that is the core of it.
Yeah.
Daddy's belt, this might be my optimism speaking, but it feels like the tides are turning on all fronts. Even in this deep blue state, we are gaining ground in hoc signo vinces, gentlemen.
The problem is the gains that the wokoids have solidified, right?
Yes.
This is why the crusading spirit of woke is over us, because they've won, basically. You know, like the woke stuff is everywhere, and it's normal everywhere now. And so it's just like, right, okay, how do we undo all of that?
Yes. And the undoing part is going to be the difficult part, as there has historically been no political will to undo things already established. Undoing things are far harder than getting them into position. And then you are, again, going to run into the people I just talked about who will go like, well, you know, we shouldn't do this, but I'm not woke. I'm just going to defend their positions.
Yeah.
There's no real reasoning or no real way of negotiating with them, since everything for them is obfuscation. It's going to be a matter of whoever conquers them in Minecraft. Now, that's just a race between the right or Islam, or if you're in America, a different force.
Weird that I'm rooting for Islam.
I mean, listen, my life would be better
I don't
under
need
Islam.
another subversive within Sargon.
No. I just like people getting a taste of their own medicine, really.
I could exist quite happy for a very long time just watching people get the consequence of their actions under Islam.
The answer.
Yeah. I mean, look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If the left lets Muslims take over, I'll just convert. Like, I will convert and become a fucking Islamic enforcer.
Okay, and I guess I'll be the one getting beheaded.
No. There are way more proximal people who need to be beheaded first.
I'll be on the list.
No, I don't see why. I'll force you to convert.
Okay. Well, that's usually how the beheadings go.
Oh, well, there we go. Look, man, I didn't want it to be this way.
Now that we're here, I'm going to make the best of it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, you thought it was The Handmaid's Tale before, did you?
No, I get the catharsis of watching them taste their own medicine, although I think that will go bitter very quick. As sweet as that'll taste, when the reality sets in that you and your family also have to live under it, then it's a bit less sweet. That's true.
Like, why would it be bad for me? Like, serious question, to be honest. No, I'm not joking. Like, the left has to answer the question of why it would be bad for every man in the West to convert to Islam.
Comparing Islam to leftism, Islam is more tempting, but neither is going to be particularly good, especially because there's a racial element.
Sure, and I agree, but the argument is being forced, and so, you know, just saying.
Well, we'll do our best to establish our version of the right-wing victory, but if it goes the other way, at least they'll suffer too.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, we'll create something like Protestant Islam.
Unironically, we
already
would.
Exists.
Like,
yeah.
Guaranteeably, the liberal West has poisoned every other religion. Give us a few 100 years, fuck, not even that, a few decades, and it will happen.
Why?
I
I
don't
genuinely
think
think
you guys will exist. I think that our people would go extinct and not be able to
Maybe.
poison it. And other people might poison Islam in the future.
no, I don't know. I think we would exist on reservations, and I think that I think that Protestantism is a kind of racial phenomenon of the Germanics. So I think that when we convert to Islam, we would end up with a kind of Protestant Islam.
Okay, well, I'll choose the beheading in that case.
Fair enough. I'm far more pragmatic.
Are you ready to rut?
Dr. Genmo, good evening. Archwarhammer, hope things are well. I would like to inquire, what do you think of the united reaction to lesbian space princesses? It's too cringe even for the wokists, which is kind of what I've already talked about, that we're going to get a generation of wokists who will defend everything the wokists do, but they'll feel repelled by the actions of the wokists because they'll be able to put on the optics glasses and go, ooh, that's pretty cringe.
So, what are the lesbian space princesses?
The Lesbian Space Princesses is an Australian animated movie from last year's where our heroes are a lesbian space princess being pursued by, and I'm not joking, straight white malians.
What are you talking about?
Hey.
This sounds like a hilarious watch.
It does sound like one of those things that are so bad they become good.
Yeah, just watch it
won
against the
every
grain.
award it could in Australia. Like, it's a literary masterpiece. You just don't understand.
Yeah, like I don't get everyone like down, being like down on The Handmaid's Tale. I was watching it and having a great time.
Mr. Twisted Frenzy, rest in peace, Tim Curry and Dolly Parton. Oh, and the voice actor of Optimus Prime died today, too. God is having a fucking culling today.
No, people are just not prepared to think about how old the boomers really are.
That, and a lot of people are realizing now that, hold on, are all the famous people really old? Yes. Yes, we haven't produced any new famous people for like 40 years.
Yeah. And people aren't ready for it, but it's going to be literally like dozens a year. We'll start just going soon. So prepare yourselves.
Yeah, and we'll be sitting there like, wait, where's the replacement generation? Never made one.
Yeah. No, go and watch the next Zendaya film.
Yikes.
I know.
Both legends in their own right, but at least they've finally gone to one place untouched by capitalism: space.
Man, that's such a good line.
Red Alert 3 is unfairly lambasted, honestly. It really is.
It wasn't as good as the other ones, but, Tim
No.
Curry was having a great time.
But that was the problem. We were too spoiled. We expected so much.
Oh, yeah. Saying that, Arch, have you seen the 40K Total War footage that's been out?
I've seen it and seen it again and again and again, re-released about 22 different fucking times.
And what did you think?
It looks fucking terrible, in my opinion.
I know! Oh my god, I didn't want to say it.
It
I
looks
didn't want to be that
awful.
guy.
Like, it looks like Rome trailers, where there's obviously no AI whatsoever. They've got this big map, and the human player is sending units to the left and the right. Like, look, I can go on the big map. Meanwhile, the AI is just like, ball! Forward!
But the Space Marines just stood there shooting in a static formation. It's like, okay, this is not exciting at all.
Yep. No, it looks terrible. It looks exactly like what I would expect from a Creative Assembly game, less of everything.
Yeah. Dawn of War 4 looks quite good.
Yes. And again,
Looking forward to that.
the worst part of 40K so far is the fact that they've shown one battle and nothing else. Like, that's all they've got.
And it's been a bad one. Like,
Yes.
you look at the army that they're going into, and there's like a dozen just Orc Boys units, and it's like, oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. That one terrible battle is all they've got.
Yeah, it's a really bad start.
I'm still going to buy it.
Yeah, I'm probably still going to buy it too, but like...
Of course, we're all still going to fucking buy it. That's not what we're debating here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's not the subject
Well,
of the debate.
I actually bought Zero Company today and I immediately refunded it.
Zero Company? I've never heard of it.
Oh, the Star Wars game.
Yep.
No, I didn't know. I didn't hear of it.
I'll buy it. I'll play it. I'll just make myself a harem of Togrutas and have whatever fun I can with it.
Aaron McIntyre got me to buy Blood Bowl 2 the other day, so you can have a game of it with me, and I'm quite enjoying it.
Blood Bowl 2 is the best of the bunch. 3 was a disaster, and it was such a disaster that they're currently working on another Blood Bowl game that's just going to be named Blood Bowl. That's how bad it was.
Yeah, well, that was literally his argument. He's saying, 3 sucks, don't worry about it, we'll just get 2.
Yep.
So I got 2, and I've had a few games of it, and I'm really enjoying it.
It's excellent. Marine Alva, the left is still able to flaunt their colours openly. In the meantime, anything that could even be remotely a counter signal is attacked. We're not winning here, we have just realised we're in a fight.
Yes, correct.
Zaloxon Doppelganger. Tenant 1, free speech absolutism. No. See, listen. I used to value that. These days, I'm free speech for my side and as little as possible for Hassan Piker.
Yeah.
Tenant 2, only US law applies to websites.
Let's go back a second, right? That's the point, isn't it, right? The right doesn't know what it wants to be. Is the right going to fulfill the promises of liberalism? If it is, then it's free speech absolutism. Is the right going to build a moral and just society? If it wants that, it can't permit Hassan Piker.
I'm on team not permitting Hassan Piker.
Yeah.
But I'm not even joking, but this is what it boils down to, right? What does the right want to be?
Yeah, no, I agree. And I, too, have very much so arrived at the position of, like, okay, free speech, absolutism, that's my ideal. I would prefer that, but I've come to realize that is simply not possible. So we're going to need to find something that is relatively close, but still allows us to maintain the ideals that would argue, in theory, for free speech absolutism.
Yeah, but can we permit a society where Hassan Piker is allowed to be a multimillionaire communist who cheers on the murder of people like Charlie Kirk?
No.
Right. So we can't have free speech absolutism.
No. We need to protect the values that would argue for it without allowing it to actually exist. It's a strange kind of...
I don't think that kind of contradiction is going to sustain itself.
Ideally, I'd like the entire right to go ahead and just become Christian, but if that's not going to happen, then I'd settle for the Imperium from 40k.
Yeah, see, like, I want to keep as much as I can of liberalism because I like it. There's a lot of parts of it that I really do enjoy and want to keep around. I just want about 10% more authoritarianism at the moment.
Well, I think you're looking at it the wrong way, right? So liberalism is what high IQ Germanics do when they're left on their own. So high IQ Germanics can have liberalism. The rest of society can't.
Well, I have been thinking about how to limit the franchise, so perhaps.
Yeah. I think the easiest way is net tax paying.
Tenet 3, separation from Israel. Now that's going to be the hardest question of all, especially for America.
Yeah, but the left is already there. The left is way ahead of us on that.
Oh, the left are way ahead of us. The left have seen Hitler and waved at him in the rear view mirror for quite some time now.
Well, no, they view Israel as Hitler.
Which is ironic.
Yeah, but they're so left-wing these days that to them, Israel itself is Hitler.
And repeal the 19th Amendment.
I just don't think that's going to happen.
See, we're not going to need to. Listen, women are a reactionary political force near universally. If we can just win hard enough to establish the rules that we play by, they'll come along.
It's not even that they'll come along. I mean, look in America. Like, white women voted in the most part for Trump.
Yeah, not only will they come along, they'll be our most zealous adherents.
Yeah. Like, I think it was 54% of white women voted for Trump. So there's a lot of oh, it's women. It's like, no, not white women. It's not. Like, mostly they're Trump supporters.
Sentinel Rex, I like Elon, don't get me wrong, but he is only right-wing by leftist standards. So why are we using our enemies' measuring sticks?
Well, you know, I think
We take what we can
Elon-
get, man.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, what option do we have?
It's like,
Well,
yeah,
I
he's not great, but he bought Twitter, and that changed everything. So
Yes.
Yeah.
if he could buy another platform, that'd be great.
I mean, I'd
I also
love
think-
for him to get YouTube as well.
Yep.
There's no way. YouTube's way too expensive. But there's also, like, Elon is really right wing in different contexts, right? When it comes to Europe and in particular England, Elon is as far right as it gets. When it comes to America, he's quite liberal. So it's just interesting how it's not consistent, and we should stop looking for consistency, I think.
And again, for all of his errors and all of his still liberal ideas, etc., him getting Twitter was really the crux around all of which the modern day's right wing's growth revolves.
Yeah, God bless Elon.
Segrin Moore, could we term it cigarette instead of cathedral?
Are you ready to
I
wreck
would prefer
this
that.
yellow mare's fluttery,
I think there are too many
buttery
Christians to indulge that.
Good.
Soloxon Doppelganger, 10 and 4, use all the left's tactics against them. We are probably going to
Yeah.
have to do that, yes.
Yeah, they're just gonna have to get what they fucking deserve.
Again, I have long since, because what we've got to understand as well is that if we're going to build the cathedral, the framework, the outer layers, the construction part of it, the thing that we're hopefully going to remove eventually, is going to be a zero tolerance policy against the left wing online.
It's
There.
too far.
There has to be
I don't-
consequences for them.
Yeah, the problem is the reason that the left
Service
wasn't able
guaranteed
to
citizenship.
completely extinguish the right during their era of dominance is that there will always be a feeling of, is this fair or not? Right.
Yes.
And so the right has to get very, very good at making it clear that actually jailing Hassan Piker is very fair.
Yes. I
In
entirely
fact,
agree.
it's not fair to leave Hassan Piker free.
You need to make the argument for why this is okay, because you're spending social capital and basically kindness whenever you do this, because people,
Yes.
I genuinely believe people are, on a fundamental level, more kind than we give them credit for, and they feel like something is unfair, they'll react against it.
Leftism would have gone nowhere if that wasn't true.
Yes. But there are several personalities out there that we can make a very convincing argument for removing.
Basically, what we need to do is make sure the public understands some people must be punished.
Marine Elva, so the manipulated DNA test can all be traced back to Me Too. The DNA can't lie, but the feminist in STEM sure can and will if it benefits her. Enshittification, female workforce, coincidence. DNA manipulation?
I don't know about that.
I haven't heard about this either. Apprendisdifegline. Basic logic. Say something true but edgy right now.
True, but edgy. I already said something very edgy when I said I'll settle for the Imperium of 40k. It's true, but it's ridiculously edgy.
Dizwiz, I am Optimus Prime, and I send this message to any surviving Autobots taking refuge among the stars. We are here, we are waiting. Sentinel Rex, this is why Christian values were common uniting values of the West. This is the fault of agnostics and atheists. They're the ones to blame. Faith, family, and leave me the fuck alone. That is the West.
Well, it's not, right? That's England. That's the English bourgeoisie.
And
Well, faith and blood, yes. When it comes to leave me alone, that's more English bourgeoisie.
Yeah, well, yeah. But that that determines the whole thing.
I think Faith and Blood, you get close enough. Not everything has to be England. I think England needs to be England. The rest doesn't have to be England.
No, I agree. I don't think this is a universal solution, is what I mean. But what I mean is, like, that's imposing England on other things that won't naturally accept it.
Yep, I agree.
Zerloxon Doppelganger 10-5. Purge the institutions in Minecraft, of course.
Well, yeah. God willing.
I mean, don't worry. I think they're actually doing a pretty good job of that themselves. Jason Arday was a wonderful example of that.
No. None of the people who are responsible for our day have been fired.
No, but the people replacing them are, well, idiots.
Yeah, but until these people are getting fired for the things that they have done, nothing changes.
Well, yes, but much like our celebrities, they will die as well soon.
Like, we're going to be stuck with these things for a long time, man.
The Meth Man, your ideals need to function too. Can't forget that. It needs to be appealing as well.
Yeah, it has to be good and true and right. I can see where the Christians are like, look, it's us.
It's us, guys.
Yeah, but you got to persuade everyone else, you know?
Yep.
Just persuade the people who actually matter.
Listen, man, I'm a fucking atheist and I've still got to go to church, right? Like, so, you know, you don't need to win me over, but why aren't most people doing it?
Carson Kazmiri, so would this be constructed concurrently with the Orania, or is Orania meant to be more of a lifeboat fallback position than the logical step? Well,
I don't think it's a logical step.
Yeah.
Again, Orania is like, if it's allowed to survive for long enough, it will be a fantastic argument for doing it in other places, to point to and go like, look what they've did. This is pretty good. Yeah. And I think also that the argument for why our current system is pretty shit is becoming almost too loud to ignore. And we can see this in elections all across Europe, where year after year the right wing gains more ground and the left has to build ever larger coalitions to stop it, because nothing's getting better.
Yeah. The problem is everyone really is waiting for a Reconquista. That's the real problem.
But no one knows how to do it.
Exactly. No one's got the balls to start it, because it would require the government to do it. Like, it requires someone with invested, in modern parlance, democratic authority.
I'm not even sure if it's a matter of courage. It's a matter of ability.
Yeah. And possibility. The Reconquista happened under very different military realities than today.
Well, no, the physical act of Reconquista is not a problem.
Go on.
Oh, well, the migrants can't possibly win.
Considering that they're currently being protected by the police force and the army.
Yeah, but I
think he means if we get those.
If we assume we gain control over the military force, then yes. But
yeah. But what I mean is, like, the migrants haven't done this to us. Our governments have done this to us.
That is true.
Right. So there's no question when it comes to, like, you know, that side of things. The issue is, why are Western governments and nation states so intent on committing suicide, and how do we persuade them not to? And the answer is, I don't know how to stop them from doing it.
Yes.
I don't think we can stop them from doing it.
I don't know if it's possible. That's why
you have to do something which I can't say on YouTube, and I don't know how to do it, even if I could.
And that's why the Orania lifeboat seems like the most realistic option.
But much like the anarchists, who are just like, well, we'll just build our own little city, eventually the lifeboat gets discovered by a larger boat.
But that's what I like about Orania. They're not anarchists. You know, they're normal.
They are. They are indeed. Shaman McClammy binge watched Basic Logic content last year. Forgot to sub and couldn't find his channel until a couple of months ago. Glad he's finally getting his due.
Very nice.
Not Dr. Evil. Mercy is truly the duality of man, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, again, this is why Machiavelli's book was so very controversial, because he laid out what somebody needs to do to seize power, but nobody wants to think about that, because it's bad, it's evil. This is not how you should behave.
It's unchristian.
Yes.
Well, there's the more practical fact that I can just say that it's bad to do these things to demoralize my rivals.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
And then I will go on to build my own sense of logic for why it's actually totally fucking fine to do this, so long as the target is the correct group.
Yeah, I get to choose the target.
Flexing Potato, howdy all. Just want to say it's awesome to see you all together, and God bless. Thank you.
How many likes have we got on the stream, Arch?
I was just checking. We just reached 1,124. We've reached 1,000, chat. Good boys.
No, chat. Don't you dare reward them for not getting us to 1,500. Chat. What are you doing?
Sargon,
We're
the
never
Taskmaster.
gonna. The
Can't believe there's
Reconquista
no
begins at
basic logic
2000.
video today because you guys didn't like it enough.
Yeah, exactly.
I was scheduled to release a video today, but we couldn't get the video out, so
Yeah, but like the
It's all chat's
Reconquista
fault.
begins at 2,000 likes. Everyone knows that.
yeah. It's like 2,500 likes, what's that? It's nothing. You just
Yeah,
get those
3,000
3,000
likes.
likes.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, listen, chat. You know, so downvote, listen. Your downvote does the exact same thing as the like button.
Yeah, fucking nothing.
It's all engagement to YouTube. You don't understand it. This is a really stupid platform, chat. The sober one. I know God exists. I know God gave us this sandbox of world to live in. I know He wants us to advance. And any complete refusal to do so or de-evolve or stop technological advancement is heavily frowned upon.
It's like the reverse Imperium.
AB in 2P. The problem is, neither side wants the normal dude to live in peace. Power above all is the motto everyone is behind.
Well, I actually do want the normal dude to live in peace.
I need power to make that happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
That's the thing, too, because, but power is actually the be-all and end-all, because if you don't have power, your ideals matter for exactly nothing.
Yeah. This is what I've been arguing with the elite theorists about. It's like, look, man, you can complain about democracy all you want, but that's the way that things are done.
That's where the
Until you're
power
prepared
lies.
Until you're prepared to go outside of that, then nothing changes.
And hey, don't get me wrong. The moment you can line up 500,000 men in a militarized form, you have the power. But until then, Carl Anderson. Sounds like you're looking for a new Charlie Kirk. Look at how that ended. The old institutions will not go quietly into the night. Well, that's actually like another interesting argument, right? Because if we go with the idea of the one strong man, which is very appealing, how do we stop the left from just shooting him?
Yeah.
Get them a successor. Like an actual one, not the one they gave for Kirk.
Oh, God.
That's true. But I mean, the thing, okay, the really annoying thing about the assassination of Charlie Kirk, after all of the stuff that has already happened, like all the, it's tragic for his wife and his family and all this sort of stuff, it's that this should have meant basically an end to the Democratic Socialists of America. Like, it should have just meant an end to all of that wing of politics, right? The Trump administration, like, oh, right, you guys are murderous psychos. Yeah, it's all gone. You're all going to jail. This is all over for you. You should never have thought, even vaguely, one of you should have thought this was possible. And now it's over. And instead, they're cheering and chanting and laughing about it.
Yeah.
So it's like, right, okay.
Well, because there was a moment there when they were very obviously scared, when you had the Hassans and the Destinies going, free speech!
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because
exactly. And Trump should have just been like, fuck you.
That if this had happened in reverse, But if this had happened to them, there would have been no mercy.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're not there yet.
Yeah. Trump should have rounded on every social media platform and said, look, you are all getting shut down unless you take down everything that is called socialist. Everything. He should have just gone hard, really hard.
Curious ponderings for $50. Thank you very much, sir. The problem is that we are all the West in a state of crisis and paralysis. No short-term solution other than to wait for it to burn, since the power is not in our favor, unfortunately. We have resentment, but are in conflict with our wants. In part, the crisis and the paralysis is... It's not really paralysis. It's simply working towards what can be a solution. Because I don't like this idea that the right hasn't done anything. We've obviously done a lot. We have changed a tremendous amount of culture and have begun turning an enormous amount of wheels. But
Trump is a great example of what the right is capable of doing.
Yeah, but all of this takes an incredibly long amount of time, and we are going to have to evolve along the path as well, because if your organization simply dedicates itself to one unified doctrine and it turns out to be the incorrect one, which is what the left did, they will eventually lose. So it's going to be a struggle, but again, as much as black-pilled as we are on occasion, I genuinely do think we are making a difference, and we should continue to try and make a difference. Magnus Toth, if you want to talk about universities, check out Victor Davies Hansen at Hillsdale College. I'll make note of that for later. Subject Noble's been around for 30 months. Thank you very much, sir. Adding more money to the issue never fixes the problem. The excess always gets laundered off. For example, Africa, large cities, schools, the Balkans. Sure, they could have. There's always the possibility for some good old-fashioned slush funding, but I do think that the right is genuinely interested in trying to construct something, and generally speaking, when you have people wanting to use the money for a purpose, they are more likely to use it for that purpose rather than just themselves. Carson Kazmiri, at this point, I'll settle for demographic security.
Yeah. Well, that's got to be the most first and basic demand.
I continue to guarantee that we exist.
Bare minimum. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, you say it like that, but we're on that verge, right?
Yes.
So,
I know.
Yep. I mean, we should all have realized that when CNN suddenly went like, white replacement theory may not be a conspiracy. I'm like, oh, Jesus. It's that bad, huh?
CNN is admitting it.
I didn't see that.
I know they've been going down this path for a while now, where they started with like, it's obviously conspiracy, only nutters believe it, and then slowly but surely went more and more like,
They only conceded when no longer matters, if they concede.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the moment that appears on CNN, it's already done, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep.
Marksman, Russian church has adopted 40K. They can guide. The problem is they're under the Russian state, and the Russian state is retarded.
And also, I never liked this attitude of, well, I agree with what the foreign guy over there is doing, therefore I'm going to be his advocate. We've got to be on our own side.
Service guarantees citizenship.
Alex Adamson, need to make sure any institution we make stays right-wing. If the organization starts becoming more woke over time, then we're back to square one. Yes, and that is going to be very difficult, by the way.
Well, conquest laws, I can't remember which one it is, but any organization that's not explicitly right-wing becomes left-wing over time. It's actually not too hard. You just have to make sure it's explicitly right-wing.
And even if it is explicitly right-wing, it must be enforced right-wing. See 40K for that.
Yeah.
Grizzly's been in for 16 months. Thank you very much, sir. Rip Tim Curry. He escaped to the one place not tainted by capitalism. Space.
Man, we're hearing that line a lot, aren't we?
We're going to hear that line several times, I'm sure. Because it's a great line and delivered with pathos.
Yeah, he's enjoying himself. Or he wasn't.
Mr. Rich Lowpitch, does blacklisting institutions like academia or the media help, or do we need to take over these existing institutions? Appreciate you guys. Like we kind of talked about and agreed on, whilst you should still use these institutions, right? Getting an education is probably not a bad idea, particularly in forms of getting a job and all of this stuff, even though having a diploma is hardly a guarantee for employment these days. But we should not expend over much effort on conquering them, simply because it's going to be incredibly difficult.
Yeah, I don't think these institutions are a path to winning. I think after you have the power, then you should conquer them, because they have some value.
I find myself leaning more towards the Irani thing. Build something good and just owe them nothing.
Zenoxon Doppelganger found a new religion based on the positive aspects of the Chaos Gods. First Church of Chaos Undivided. I think that's already been happened. We call it progressivism.
Yeah.
Sentinel Rex, the only church you need is the family unit. To hell with the church as an institution, grab your Bibles and pray for understanding. Enough said.
Good Protestant
Clearly
man,
it wasn't enough. Clearly did not survive the tide of leftism.
Yeah.
Yeah, so even then, I remember we had Christian education as part of our confirmation ceremony. And part of this was basically being sent to Christian families so that they could tell us about their faith. And every time, it was very apologetic. It was never strident. Private Christianity was always very much so like, well, we're Christian, but we're not crazy. Trust us. We're not insane.
They never make the argument as to why Christianity has made them happy.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well.
That's what you need to do.
And so many of them aren't. I've noticed the elders at the church that I used to go to, they were quite miserable people.
Really?
Yeah. See, they didn't follow the biblical versions of marriages, and so their marriage deteriorated and became infected by leftism, and everything leftism you allow to corrupt gets corrupted and destroyed. And so they were getting destroyed and didn't have an out, because usually when things get corrupted and bad in your spiritual life, you go to your pastor in your church. You get the proper guidance and you go back on your way. But now your pastor and your church are corrupted as well. What now?
Yeah. I mean, the church I go to it feels like whenever I go there, it feels like I'm like at the Battle of Rorke's Drift. And I mean it. Like these guys, no. These guys feel like they're fighting a defensive last action. Right?
Yeah.
And I say this as someone who completely supports them. I want them to win, right? I want them to win, But I think the guys who are doing it are true believers. And whenever I've spoken to the priests who are there, they're very right wing. They're clearly the sort of people who'd listen to my podcast. So it's not them that I'm worried about, but they clearly feel like they're surrounded by the Zulu hordes of secular materialist leftists. And they're just struggling to maintain themselves. On the plus side, their church is doing really quite well. Their average sort of congregation is about 50 to 60, which for an English church is good. Really good. And it's because they've got the incense and, they do like chants and stuff like that. And I enjoy it. I enjoy being, it's a nice thing to do because it's actually traditional. It's actually proper, So, but they've got this feeling of a desperate last stand about them, which I don't.
They never go on the offense. They're scared of offending. That's kind of what disgusts me in the experiences I had with other Christians.
Yeah,
I guess they feel like they're under attack, and
I
think your insight that they are under attack. But the main thing that they're doing is that they're feeling that something might be offensive, and since that's the paradigm by which they even have their faith, well, you can't go against your feelings, can you?
Fat Leon, will Basic ever make a video on the Samson option?
I don't think so. I actually enjoy having a YouTube channel, believe it or not.
Yep.
So,
I would enjoy a video of yours on it, though, just if you ever did.
right.
I'm not saying you should.
Yeah.
That's kind of the problem. Again, there's the thing as well. Like, if you're gonna want to continue to be able to change culture, influence people, and be effective, you're going to have to continue to exist first.
Just a quick thing on that. I'm very impressed at the chuds. Very impressed at the chuds these days. Because wherever I see culture, in particular wargaming, not just Warhammer, but in BattleTech spaces as well, I see a lot of chuds being utterly unrepentantly chuddish. Like they do not allow themselves to be tone policed at all anymore, and I'm very proud of them. Very, very proud of them.
Well, we were tone policed our entire lives from the moment we got into first grade all the way through. And at some point, some of them completely surrendered, and the other parts of us were just like, all right, well, I can't take it anymore.
Yeah, the chuds seem to be engaging in what is essentially total war against woke tone policing, and I love it. I love to see it. And I see it everywhere, literally everywhere. Like, I'll go on a Facebook group, and like someone will have posted something progressive, and it's just chud, 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 chud. When it's to do with like 40k or something, I'm like, yes, hold the line, lads, hold the line. I mean it.
It's a show of strength, which is something that both Christians and the right broadly have refused to do.
Yes,
It's an assertion. It's willingness to take up space and go like, no, your thing is cringe and gay.
yeah, and it's a refusal to back down as well.
And the fact that we could get banned, but we're not getting banned, that also works as a show of strength.
Yes,
The fact my channel isn't banned is an example. My channel would be banned 5 years ago, there's no doubt about it.
yes. Same with there's a guy called Flight from Syracuse as well, who does similar sort of stuff to you.
I'm familiar with him, yeah.
Yeah, I like both your channels. They're really good. But
He got
again,
most of his videos taken down, though, right?
did he? Shit. I mean, he was flying quite close to the sun.
Yeah, I have lawyered my way through the TOS.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know I haven't broken a single rule. That never stopped YouTube before.
No.
But it is at least something. I think Flight from Syracuse did not care if he was breaking TOS or not.
Well, the benefit is like YouTube has softened significantly over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Very gradually, and along with that softening, like we can grow a little bit more strident, slowly but surely. Yeah. But it is definitely important to stay within the lines.
That those lines could get redrawn at a moment's notice.
Yes.
Yeah. So
they can. And that's also like the idea where YouTube is like, oh no, we won't. We're not gonna have this have retroactive effect. Like shit, you won't.
Until President AOC.
Yep. That's a lot of the frustration of the Zoomers. Like we have the online space on lock. We can take care of the online space, but when it comes to the offline space that requires actual capital and networks and all these things that you have to acquire over a long life, and we are young, we can't do much about that. And at any point, the offline world can cut off the online world, and so all our work goes off.
Yeah. John Jim, politics over law, destroying monopolies, nationalism, and a national culture over surviving enough to succeed this and recover from the economic warfare to come. Carson Casimir, from my own experience, there's a large amount of people within the US military and veteran circles who wish to create homesteads and communities on their own away from modernity.
All right, then do it.
Flint, one of the things that Zoomers need to get out of this...
Just a quick thing on that. There's... I'm not a fan of
Paris
Retreat.
Is the question. Fire is the answer.
And that has the stench of Retreat about it.
Isolating away from the world, hoping it'll go away.
Yeah.
One of the things Zoomers need to get out of is the pension program, because we are paying into something that we will never see the benefits of. I know, and I've literally done that. I do not contribute to the pension program at all for that precise reason, because...
Are you allowed to do that in Norway?
Sort of. As long as I can remain independent, I can stay out of the pension program.
Oh, God, I wish I could do something like that. No, my government just fucks me.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Yeah. Pay taxes? Fucking that's you cooked.
Yep. Sinestro, are you talking about the gay guy who tried to be a groiper?
Don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is.
Was that when I was talking about like the gay communist who
Very
was
possible.
pretending to be a Christian right winger?
I just wanna say, right, Nick Fuentes, I didn't even accuse you of being that guy. How kind am I? 5 years ago, I'd have just laughed and said it was you.
Ethan Grant, in addition to universities, we must also encourage the trades. Apprenticeship should be pushed more and more and advertised to high schoolers. Bringing back shop class would help with this tremendously.
Another advantage for Orania.
Yeah, honestly, this is a thing that a lot more young people should be encouraged to do. Like, the fetishization of higher education is beginning to wane, and that's a very good thing. As if you want to be independently well off these days, becoming a plumber and hiring other plumbers to help you do the plumbing is probably the best way.
Yeah, doing real things that can't be replaced by AI really helps.
At least not for another decade or two.
Yeah, but spreadsheet jobs are going, so get used to it.
Yep. And creativity jobs too, incidentally. Like, unironically, YouTubers, we're going to have competition in like 15 years, maybe 20 if we're lucky.
I'm not too worried about it. Like, I don't know, there's something about the parasocial nature of YouTube that I think protects us from that. But I mean, I could be wrong, of course.
Conceivably, but I fear that the parasocial nature could actually be a tool for the AI, because it will be programmed. Because, like, I know that I've spent a lot of time thinking about the parasocial nature of things and accepting that, it's a thing that's going to happen, it's unavoidable, but I try to keep it on a level of reasonableness, whereas this is a particular thing that a lot of the more dubious VTubers do, where they play onto that specifically. It's the entire foundation of OnlyFans.
Yeah.
If you had an AI that was basically programmed to specifically attempt to amp up the parasocial relationship, you're going to have the equivalent of future crack.
For fuck's sake. I hate the future so much.
As you should.
Yeah.
Silly Sailor, with the death of Tim Curry, there's 3 actors from Home Alone 2 dead this year. Should the Secret Service be worried? Yes.
Was Tim Curry in Home Alone?
Was he?
What? Is that not what you just said? Did I mishear you?
He must have been. I just can't remember him now.
I don't remember being on.
Sentinel Rex, I'd rather have 10,000 bad Christians than 1 saint. Well, at least if you have 10,000 Christians, it shows that your position has become popular.
Yeah, I could do a lot more with 10,000 bad Christians.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true, but perhaps 1 saint could rally 1 million.
Maybe.
Great man theory.
I hate the fake persona of this, like, because I view it as no different from the fake persona put on by OnlyFans whores. Honestly, it's an adopted idea specifically to appeal to people. It's like, I'm totally this thing. Look at me.
Yeah. That's true. We can already have your 10,000 fake Christians. They're online.
I think
a lot of money.
We're a hell of a lot over 10,000 fake Christians at this point.
Yeah. Where's the 1 saint though? I want to meet him.
Yeah. But this is why I'm so public about not being a Christian, right? It's because I don't want anyone to ever say I've been a fake Christian. It's like, no. If I was a Christian, it would be sincere. And the fact that I'm not means I have to let people know,
I appreciate the honesty.
No, it's not by choice, frankly.
Okay, you'd rather be dishonest, but you don't have the ability to?
No. I'd rather be a Christian, but I can't.
Okay.
So I've got no choice to be honest, but to be honest as well, because I've got a really bad memory and I can never remember if I've lied or not.
That's true. I wish I had the ability to be dishonest. I do. It seems like it's the path to success.
Look at Hassan. He's doing fucking amazing.
Exactly. I think this is a skill set that would be highly useful to develop.
Yeah, which is why, chat, you need to like the fucking video.
So we can be more dishonest?
No, because we're punishing ourselves by being honest.
That's true.
I'd prefer the skill of being able to be honest and actually follow through things. It seems to work more effectively.
That's easy, though.
No, if it was easy, then it would be winning.
No, I didn't say it's productive. It's easy to be honest. It's just not always the best course of action.
It is in the long term.
Well, yeah, okay. Fair enough.
If people were good at it, it would outcompete everyone else. In fact, it did outcompete everyone else if we look at history.
I don't know. There's a dark power in dishonesty, I'm afraid, which I hate, but
there obviously is. That's why people are dishonest.
Yeah, otherwise they wouldn't bother.
Yeah.
So.
Insane hippie saying socialism has been infiltrating Christianity since the 1960s. And before that too. Killers Illable, problems with far-right Christians is that they're dumb. Believe Earth is 6k years, dinosaurs are fake, dragons, giants are real. No different from flat earthers.
Honestly, they're centrists in my mind. It's like, yeah, they say some crazy things that sound very intolerant, like the anti-woke crowd, but in the end of the day, they are just straight-up boomer conservatives.
Yeah, every boomer is a liberal.
Yep.
If you weren't sure.
So, like, that generation of creationist, insane Christian is very common in boomer circles. Every boomer, as you said, is a liberal. Doesn't matter what they say.
Yep.
John Jim, feeling something is true or not comes with the territory of looking at evidence and later finding out the facts and evidence were intentional lies. Central Rex, hell isn't an eternal lake of fire, it's oblivion, separation from God and non-existence. People don't understand what hell is.
Alright, going into deep theology, I guess. I don't agree with annihilationism. I agree with hell being separation from God, but I don't think that's annihilationism. Regardless, I don't think this is a theology stream.
Well, it has been for quite a bit of it, actually.
Well, a little bit.
To be honest, though, if that's where the conversation has to go, that's where it has to go.
If you all just agreed with me, we wouldn't have to have a theology debate.
Oh my god, this is why socialism's winning. If everyone just agreed, I hate that term.
If everyone just agreed, if I just had a gun and I could point it to people's heads, we'd be great.
Yeah.
I intend to transfer my brain into a robot body anyway, so I don't care if hell is real. Mikkel, what do you think are the pillars of feminism? I'd say reproductive choice, easy voting, and birth control. Feminism is the war and responsibility on my front.
Well, these are just the tools of feminism.
The true pillar of feminism is rebellion against the position of women.
Yeah.
It's rebellion against men in particular. And God by extension.
Exactly. Completely correct.
General Jacka, what are your thoughts on Based Camp on YouTube making a Christian-derived spin-off? It's a little blasphemous, but kind of makes more sense than the other churches.
Based Camp?
I don't know about it either.
I participated on Based Camp. It was by Malcolm and Simone Collins.
Oh, right.
I'm not familiar enough with their platform to be able to answer that question. I just know about it.
I couldn't tell you anything about it, I'm afraid.
Lock Mana, I'm so sick of hearing, how can I afford kids, my brother in Christ? This is the easiest time in all human history to have children. I mean, yeah, the problem is, how can you afford children? No, children are actually technically very cheap, which is demonstrated by the Somalis having 16 of them. But most Western people don't want to raise their children by the standards of the Somalis. So when they say, how can I afford to have kids, what they mean is, how can I afford to bring up a child in luxury with endless toys and a literal room filled with toys?
Yeah, maybe your generation. My one is, can I have a home so that my children don't have a financial instability situation?
Yeah, but the Zoomer hasn't come to face the facts yet, right? Like that is an argument that is, I'd like to have what my Boomer grandparents had. And it's like, okay, but like, you do not live in the world of your Boomer grandparents. You're not going to have those things, at least anytime soon. So you've got to make do with what you've got, where you are right now.
I don't think we'll ever convince them to do that, though.
Sure, but
especially with European descendants, like European strategy was always heavy investment into fewer kids. We were never the Skaven. The Skaven is a tactic for a different people.
No, that's not true. That's not true. My parents were both products of 6 children on either side, and they grew up perfectly good, law-abiding, successful. Like the Zoomer mind doesn't understand. It's like you don't understand.
The fact that you say 6 is the opposite is a Skaven strategy shows how Europeans will never follow along with this. 6 would be moderate for some people's strategies.
Sure, but
small even.
Sure,
but Europeans were always high investment into their offspring.
No, I don't think that's true. I think that's a really modern conception.
Mikkel, I have no debt. I own. I'm just going to move right past that, unless we're going to be here for another half an hour.
Yeah, we will. I mean, I'm happy to discuss it another time because I realize I'm making a strong claim now.
Yeah, that's also why I held my tongue there. Just like I don't want to derail this.
But we can do it another time though, because I'm well up for
time. Yeah,
definitely. Mikkel, I have no debt. I own a house, I have a job, and I'm building my own business, and I train, and I'm waiting for marriage before engaging. Still no girl, male 27. Well, this is also one of the difficult things, yes. Finding women can be challenging in this day and age.
Yeah, how do Zoomers do it?
You're asking the wrong person, man. I have no idea. I thought, well, I'd go to church and then I'd meet some quality Christian women. No.
Really?
Yeah, there are none. Well, at least not at the non-denominational circles. You find quality
men.
No
women or no decent women?
Well, you could argue both sides.
You could argue both sides.
That's an exaggeration. There are definitely some that are very much capable and have been raised properly, but they are the extreme minority. Feminism has infiltrated so much. The elders have feminist ideas. Everyone has feminist ideas. And it's just what is considered normal in modern day society is a recipe for lifelong misery if you marry that person. And we realize this, and we don't want anything to do with it.
Right. How many Zoomer women agree with this kind of right-wingism, would you say? What percentage?
If I had to guess, and this is a complete guess, probably less than 4 or 3%. Right. All that matters would be if their dominant environment, the power in that environment, agreed with it, and that's minority or chuds. So chuds are a very small minority, so that's all it is.
Yeah. That's annoying.
I'll have to go to the Amish to find a wife, I think.
Yeah.
Yaska, to me and many others on the right and the center, Christianity is a hard pass. It would be the same as surrendering to the left.
Interesting.
I do think that is going to be often a very broadly held opinion. Yes. Like, again, like the fact that so many people's relationship with religion has been an antagonistic one is going to make it difficult.
Yeah.
Guile,
antagonistic by the left.
Yes, it has.
Adopting that framing is surrender to the left.
Well, it's not. It's not.
I won't become Christian because I don't want to surrender to the left. By doing so, you've surrendered.
It's reality That's the thing. Like, it's been defined.
Yeah, the reality
like
is the
this.
left one.
Yes.
Yeah.
The left has one. Like, we're in the left-wing reality. We now need to reverse it.
Yeah.
And Christianity, as appealing as many of its ideas are, I still don't know if it's going to be able to do anything about it. Again, I'm very much so on the whole, we've already lost the magic, can we rekindle it?
Well, for you, it will just be, well, actually, for all of us, actually, it will just be a matter of, can this position actually do what we need it to do? So if Christians had the strength to do it, you'd follow the line, you toe the line of the Christians. If something else figured out how to do what needs to be done, you toe the line of that position.
Sure.
So which position has the highest chance of being able to do what needs to be done? If we just go by the last 100 years, I would not put my money on the Christians. If we go by the last, well, since European history as we know it, I would put my money on the Christians.
But in that case, I'd also put my money on kings.
Yeah. Well, I agree with monarchism.
I'd take a good one.
Yeah. Get rid of the one you currently have.
Yeah.
Like, our king right now is ill and is probably going to die in the next few fucking days, as blood cancer, everything wrong with him you can possibly imagine. And his son is a massive progressive. And the only saving grace is that he's been raised within a household that basically tells him, listen, you're a king, you have responsibilities, shut the fuck up about your personal beliefs. And I just hope that lesson has been hammered into his brain thoroughly enough.
Yeah, but that's not a king, though. That's just a figurehead. That is a puppet.
It is, but like, here's the thing too. Like, if a genuine king arrived, we'd disinvest him. We'd actually just vote him out of power within a decade, if not more or less.
Yeah.
I am pro an actual monarchy, not the ceremonial nonsense that you have in the UK.
I mean, technically, it's not ceremonial.
Technically, it's not.
Yeah,
I'm no
like, at any point.
Shameful.
At any point, the king could just invoke his royal prerogatives.
He could at any point. He won't.
No, I know. I know. Like, but even if he did, he'd be like, "Yeah, so I'm officially turning us into an Islamic state." Probably, like it'd be fucking worse.
Yeah, the British king is more likely to bring in Allah than God.
Yeah, 100%. It's fucking insufferable.
Guy, libertarians are counterparts to communists as a matter of rejecting responsibilities to the local community or to the wider nation. Both are bad.
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question? I missed it.
Libertarians are counterparts to communists. It's a matter of rejecting responsibility to the local community or to the wider nation.
Yeah.
Oh, if I agree with this, my friend based of True is gonna hate me. I think I'll hold my tongue.
Terms.
Yes, that's what I've told him. He needs to just embrace the Christian nationalism already.
Rex. The Western civilization that Sargon wants to protect so badly was invented and built on that not reasonable religion.
Oh, I don't disagree. I mean, I've said this for many years. But this is why I'm an ally and supporter of Christianity. Like, I'm well aware of it would be good if Christianity was the religion.
Zeloxon Doppelganger, logic is right. Citizens should drive the migrants out and take over just like they do. This goes for every Western nation. They should, and then what will happen is like what happened in Germany, where the police showed up and went, listen, we've been sent by the government to oppress you.
The first group of people who actually pull it off and don't capitulate to the police have a shot at not only taking their country, but taking a lot more.
Yeah.
So it's a race to who becomes king. First one who figures out how to do it.
There is an example, right? But the problem is it requires a great deal of moral unity between the people and their local governance. This happened in Guernsey. The British government was like, hey, Guernsey, this small island off the coast of France that belongs to England. We want to put some migrants there. And they're like, no, you can't. We're really Islamophobic. It wouldn't be fair on the migrants. That was Guernsey's argument against taking them. They didn't take any. And they've probably got some now, to be honest. That was a few years ago. But like at the time it worked. And it's like, huh.
Listen, the amount of hate crimes, you don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, it's not fair to them.
That is a pretty good argument.
I know, right? What are you coming back with against that?
David Wagner, believe is the currency of the inner world. Science is the currency of the outer world. Believe, therefore, is fundamentally grounded in the moral world. God, therefore, is not worldly.
Yeah. Very roundabout way of saying that the spiritual and material are separate.
Yeah.
Marine Alva, socialism tried to secularize religion away. All they did was create a secular religion. A seculigion, if you would.
Yep, I agree. I've said as much.
I have to, but I'm not sure we're characterizing it quite right by calling it a religion. I think it's better to frame it as if it's the same impulse that's being fed.
Well, I argue the necessity that every single individual on the planet has a religion. They might not call it that, but if we just go at the root of what religion is, connection to the highest good, you have to define what the highest good is. Everyone operates on the basis of trying to achieve what they consider at that moment to be the highest good, which can vary very much from people to people because they have their own personal religions. And at that point, you're just defining something that, as you said, it's almost the same as the need to be fed.
Yeah.
Zeloxon Doppelganger, Logic, Marksman, trust in your sacrificed sacred rifle. There we go. My fucking dyslexia. If you do not have a rifle, trust in your sacred rocks. Trust in your prayer of protection. And if the enemy eats you, make them choke. Praise be Space King. This Saturday is finally dropping this for White Knuckles. I mean, I like what you're saying, but it just reminds me of smearing your face with cow cum, hoping it'll protect you from the bullets.
I do want a rifle. Unfortunately, here in Europe, we're tucked, not allowed.
Yes, it's very difficult. Up here, you can only own it if you have either active hunting permits or if you are a member of like a pistol club. So you basically got to pay to be allowed to own it for recreational purposes.
The simple matter is, if you as a man do not have the ability to kill in defense of your people or your family, you're not a man. Yeah. You lost your manhood, and that's the unfortunate part of living in Europe. You're not allowed to be a man. You have to be a boy.
Infernal Julian the Apostate almost did it. Forgetting armor in battle ended it.
Yeah. The tide was against him.
God was against him.
Magnus Toth, the best predictor of a man's religion is the religion of his parents, and the second best predictor is the religion of the people who just conquered his country.
Yep, logically. People act like that's like an own. It's like, no, it's just common sense.
Yeah. Flexing Potato, honestly, I think Orana is the best model for our future. Orania.
Yeah, me too.
Sentinel Rex, this is why Christ is king and not an elected official. We need a divine sovereign, not a collective.
I agree with you very much. However, a divine sovereign right now isn't directly running our politics. He has delegated that duty to his servants, and his servants are terrible right now. His servants are not doing the job of serving. I find the Christians have a cope that when they realize they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing for the society, well, they'll just say, well, God has a plan and God will take care of it. It's like, well, you know, you're supposed to be serving him in some capacity here. It's kind of your job. So, well.
Carson Kazmiri, I think it's nobody wants to risk being the first domino. What if no other dominoes fall and I just pissed it all away for nothing? Yes, and the thing is too, like, in 99.9% of circumstances, you will have pissed it all away for nothing. That's... Yeah. This is why I'm like, I'm sympathetic towards and understand the Minecraft position, even as I'm like, yeah, but it's not going to happen.
I am pro the Minecraft position if you could do it and it succeeds. I am against the Minecraft position if it would fail.
Yes, largely. And right now I'm like, yeah, but it's going to fail.
Yeah.
Basically, something needs to change, and something fairly fundamental and large scale before the Minecraft position becomes viable.
Someone's going to have to figure it out. Or we go extinct. Those are the options.
Enigma, we may end up with Space Janissaries before Space Marines. Not entirely impossible. Oh, goddammit. I just reached the end of the super chat, and then I scrolled, and there's more. I mean, I'm not complaining. Thank you, chat. It's just... I stopped when we had 40 minutes left thinking, that'll be plenty. 32 minutes past the 2 hours.
Look at how much he's complaining, guys. He doesn't want you guys to super chat. He actually thinks it's terrible. You guys should stop giving him money.
I just need to read faster. That's my realization. I need an AI to read for me.
I've seen some streamers do that.
Boog, if someone actually pulls the Minecraft and takes over a city and holds it, what will you all do in Minecraft? Well, that's the other big question. Like, will you up and leave and go to the Minecraft Topolis? Will you attempt to Minecraft along the same lines, hoping the government hasn't found an answer to the Minecraft?
I will try to help in whatever way fits in my particular circumstance, which could be the coward's excuse as well.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's literally what everyone's going to do anytime.
Everyone's going to do whatever they can do, as much as they're willing to do, as much as they're willing to risk.
Theoretically, anyway.
Carson Kazmiri, on one hand, gold. On the other hand, painful, agonizing failure. Never thought I'd get to use a Road to El Dorado meme.
I love that film.
And Carson Kazmiri again, imagine carrying out something like Nanking, 1938, on your own people. Would Ferdinand and Isabella have tolerated this? Would Franco? I mean, granted, the Nanking massacre was perhaps particularly malicious and malevolent, so hopefully we wouldn't go that far, but I see the point.
Honestly, I see the parallel. Yeah, like, I get it's a bit of a cringe parallel, but I kind of agree with it.
Alzorin, religion and faith requires conviction, passion and hope. The three things have been stripped from culture. Also, I'd counter the fear of failure with the addiction of vices, e.e. pornographic images and video games. Counter the fear of failure. Compare? Counter? It says counter.
Yeah, I think he's saying that if we fail, the other option is, well, you have to dull your senses to that failure, and that the way that's going to happen is for video games and pornography and the likes.
Maybe.
No one wants to lose, my friend. We just don't know how to win. That's the truth of it.
Yeah, that is the problem. And the thing is, too, like, even if you were willing to risk it for that chance at winning, nobody really has a good argument for how to win.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Like,
we finally agreed, after decades of being destroyed in every conceivable way, that we have something to win. So, like, fantastic progress. Now we need to actually figure out how. You know, that would be very nice if we were thinking about this some 4 decades ago.
Question.
Again, unironically, it is progress. Understanding that you are fighting is the first step to winning. That is unironically true.
Yep.
It really is.
It's just, now we need to find a way to fight back that won't get us all destroyed and will allow us to negotiate with our own morality for a while.
The worst part about all of this really is that there's no one actually holding us down but ourselves.
Yes, if by ourselves we mean a bit of a wider society basis.
Yeah, no, like, as in if you look at Western civilization as a collective whole, like, we're not being held down by, like, Muslim invasion.
No.
You know, the caliphate isn't marching armies across our lands or something. You know, no, it's Western governments are retarded and full of retards and cowards and subversives and traitors. And so, like, you know, everything that's happening is happening because of our own consent.
Yes.
I agree with that. The only thing I could see someone counter on is when it comes to capture of financial institutions.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, you could also definitely argue certain external forces. I don't want to get too close
that shall
to
not be named.
I don't want to get too close to the small hats, but there are definitely groupings out there who have had less scruples using mass media and other tools to influence reality, shall we say. Killers in the Vault, AOC is already saying Woke 1.0 is crazy. I fucking know. I've seen that.
I made a video on it.
That is absolutely going to happen. You're going to see people who were there, who participated in it, who was screaming on the front lines, go like, wow, I'm glad we're past that, huh?
To be fair, for a lot of people like AOC, Woke 1.0 was scary for them too. Their own audiences, their own supporters were fucking mental.
Mm-hmm.
So they could tweet something they thought was reasonable and get absolutely raked over the coals for it.
Yep. Harry the Human substitute Ranker for $50. Thank you very much, sir. The right just has to hit the left, and boomers on live TV and humiliation rituals for the 24/7. You will admit you are just wrong and always were wrong. We are returning to tradition. The question of what should the right do answered at the start. I mean, I am all for the Conrad curse solution myself. I'm just, I'm not sure how I'm going to convince the television station to get along, to go along with it. Carson Kazmiri, it can't be bargained with, it can't be reasoned with, it doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear, it is an absolute, it will not stop ever until you are Minecrafted. There you go. Used to describe the Terminator, but also people like Hassan Piker. Unironically, yes. How did the humans substitute Aranka? I arrived late, but the left just had to be forced at this point to say, okay, I admit I was wrong. The right isn't 1000% 24/7 wrong. They can be right sometimes, and like in any other time in history, heads would roll over the old and weak, asking me to call myself weaker than them and surrender my God-given birthright, because young people having a birthright makes the old uncomfortable.
Any boomers it makes uncomfortable.
Samurai Knight, RGE said it best, we win simply by gatekeeping them after they burn their legacy down and they try to join what we built. Let them suffer in the ruins. There's definitely going to be a lot of importance placed on gatekeeping, yes, and also simply not allowing the people who were on the opposition to just move into our spheres unopposed and unchallenged. But we also then again need to return to the topic of we need some element of forgiveness, otherwise we're just the left wing all over again. So that's another circle I don't know how to square. Harry the Human substitute Rankar, the old left just being asked to admit to confess they messed up. Is arguably the centrist position, and many will say not punishment enough. I say no punishment enough. Zlox and Doppelganger, not just online consequences, IRL consequences as well. And that's where YouTube cuts off the rest of the message.
Probably wise.
Probably wise. King Spectre, 844, thank you for your donation, sir. Have either of you ever considered collaborating with News Fist? Very funny and a history buff as well. He's been a great intellectual get for Carl on Lotus Eaters and would like to match Archer's Freak for a damn funny show. News Fist? Is there somebody you know, Sargon?
No, I don't know who that is.
Huh. I shall look into it.
I'm sure they're very good, though.
Harry, human substitute Rankar. Speaking of which, I do agree with Arch in the other stream that people are not old. owed a position at a job. However, people deserve to be given a chance. The entire boomer generation holding money and refusing to give the young a chance or hire them is something that generally deserves to be sued over, especially with the contract and promises that getting yourself in debt going to college will give you a job that was the contract and they denied it. Yes, no, this is also a very common thing, in fact. And it's due to an overstuffed labor market where if you're fresh out of college with your degree and your diploma and you were best in class and you go to an employer and he goes, okay, I could hire you, but I've also got a guy who's got all of your diplomas, but he's been working for 15 years.
Yeah.
You're just
and
fucked.
I've also got 100 Indians I've just imported that's willing to work for 1/10 of what you want.
That too, yes. Like, listen, I'd love to hire you, but this H1B visa, man. I could employ 10 people for your cost.
Saying that, Trump did just rug pull all the H1Bs, so...
Which is a good thing, again. And this is where Elon is very much wrong as well. Like, oh, but we need their competence. Bullshit, you do.
Yeah. Then why aren't you looking for it in America or Europe?
Mm-hmm. MD Bull, is Elon very right-wing for the UK, or is the UK government way too far left? Well,
no. Elon is very right-wing for the UK. He's not for anywhere else.
Noble, politics is downstream of culture. What's the culture amongst our politicians? Well, irrelevant. It's about the culture amongst our people. Like, again, mark my words. Like, if AOC is already going like Woke 1.0 was crazy, give her another 10 years and she's suddenly going to be like, oh, I was never aboard with that. No. And if I was, I was being forced.
Yeah. That will unironically become her position.
Womp womp womp. But the problem is there is no overarching name for the modern left. A term such as intersectional socialism or communism would pretend things like the Woke 2.0 pivot and pin their ideology on them. Well, the problem is, at the end of the day, you can assign whatever label to them you think fits best, and often that will be the correct label, but then they will simply return to the tactics of 2014 and go like, listen, you've misrepresented 1% of my position. I am not a communist. I am an anarcho-capitalist naturalist. And frankly, it's just a waste of time strategy that you can never really get around.
Yeah.
Base Hillbilly, Rip Peter Cullen, Bay's Transformers movie are gloriously right-wing and a great snapshot for a better America. I still remember his black robots. I don't know how he got away with it. P. Rarity, you have to keep building and moving forward, but build and keep notes. But culture and supporting it, not just clapping your hands and maybe throwing a dollar no, we have to really support our side. Yeah, that's true. Reverend Norse, any idea how to join the Christians and non-Christians on the right together? I see too often in both camp antagonism towards the other before and they even look at the left.
I have an idea for this one. So we constantly talk about how we need to unite around a purpose, how we need to build a cathedral, how we need to do all these things together. Now, the Christians have done very poorly the last 100 years, so skepticism against them is justified. However, they want to. The rest of the right does not have a unifying theory whatsoever. Often the criticism comes when a new Christian comes up that is actually like proper Christian, proper right wing. He gets cut out the knees by the non-Christian right, which is skeptical of him based on the sins of his predecessors. I understand the skepticism, but there's no other plan at the moment. In fact, we need to start designing the plan. Right now, we don't even have a foundation for a plan other than Christianity. So let's just go with it. And I know this is very easy for me to say because I'm the Christian side. I'm telling the other side to just like get along with the plan.
No. That is a persuasive argument, and that's why I find myself a supporter of Christianity. Like, it's just what else are we going for here?
Yeah. No.
So if you truly can't
well.
be convinced of Christianity, which can be the case for some people, still get toe the line because we don't have the time to be discussing alternatives.
Unironically, that's exactly my position.
Wonderful.
No, I really mean it. Like it's not that I don't want to like Christianity either. Like on a personal level, I do like Christianity, but I don't believe it's like a revealed truth or anything. But I don't have to, frankly.
Right now, we're focusing on not going extinct. After that, we can discuss our more the details.
Yeah.
Yeah, though I do agree in theory in that we only have one real idea right now, and so let's adopt that as a baseline, and then we'll see. But the problem is, too, the very thing that allowed us to come back from a position of complete defeat and utter left-wing cultural dominance is also going to be the thing that's going to make it very difficult, because we have a great deal of strong individuals on the right that have constructed a great number of positions on the right. And whenever you have that, you're going to have competition from a lot of people with firmly held beliefs and a lot of constructed things who are going to have very different ideas. And again, that natural competitiveness was what created our alternatives in the first place, but it does not necessarily lend itself well to getting aboard the train.
No, I agree with you. But obviously, if you have one of these alternatives and you don't recognize that these alternatives are not going to get implemented, and you need to toe the line, and then after you toe the line, we can start talking about your alternatives again. Mm-hmm. Then, if you're choosing leftist defeat, then your position's already gone. I think you've already betrayed your own position at that point. If you have an alternative and you're really convinced and it's true and you're confident you can argue it, win first, and then you can argue it, and you have the time for that. However, if you think your position is hard to argue and you don't really want to argue it, you can be kind of pedantic and refuse to toe the line with the Christians, lose, and then like you and the Christians are both lost, and therefore you don't have to defend your position.
Yep.
Lay off the red. My response to people saying Earth is overpopulated is that it's not overpopulated by white people. Factually correct and hilarious. Yes.
It's also just not overpopulated.
Well, I don't know about that.
If I were to give my opinion, none of us would have YouTube channels.
You know, I don't disagree with you on the number per se, Sargon, but I have quibbles.
Yeah, in a purely Malthusian sense, right? It's not overpopulated.
MJ Bull, the US government does not have the legitimate authority to compel social media platforms to do what it wants. We're not foolish enough to give our government that kind of power.
No, there are other things that you'll do, though.
Yeah,
Biden,
and let's face it, if the government really wanted to, it would find a way.
Yeah, Biden did a bunch of this stuff, so...
This is one of the things that annoys me with the libertarian crowd, which I know if Base of Truth sees this season get annoyed at me. Terrified of giving the government any power, except the government will just take that power regardless. And if you're not giving your own side that power, okay, well, you're just conceding that they always get the first move.
Yeah.
Yes. And you've got to understand as well, like, okay, the whole idea, we don't want to give the government power, they'll abuse it. Sure, I agree. However, the other side wants to give the government power and will abuse it, so get there first. We'll worry about them abusing it tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll hold ourselves accountable. How about that? They're not going to hold themselves accountable.
In fact, they are going to hold themselves unaccountable by definition, because what they're doing is just and correct and morally virtuous.
Yeah, so, that's why we need the power and they don't.
Yes.
Heresy's the question. Fire is the answer.
And for the moment, well, the government is how we do this. That is where the power lies. That is the tool we use. The tool is not evil, but any tool can be misused.
Yeah.
Trick or treat.
Jen Jacko, the Tories are explicitly right-wing. Look at how that worked out.
Not right-wing.
Yeah.
There's something called lying.
Yeah. I feel like there's going to be some strident arguments against the Tories being explicitly right-wing.
Yeah, I don't see anyone.
I'm sure they called themselves that.
No, they didn't. Right. So David Cameron explicitly liberalized the Tories, liberalized them, and he knows he did, and everyone agreed that he did. And then it turned out that was a really bad idea.
What was Doom? We will you in space, Comrade Chedenko. We will.
I don't know what that means.
Dude, summon a BL, basic logic, I'm presuming. Do you have a plan for if the Eye of Sauron smites you?
Not really.
Yeah, no, nobody has a plan. Like, you're just fucked.
Yeah. I have an alternative Rumble account. I'm posting on X. Doesn't matter.
No, it really doesn't.
I'll figure something else out for my own life, but as for contributing to the right, it would be a big blow.
YouTube is the dominant platform. Kick is doing better. I highly recommend everybody check out Kick. It's the best alternative at the moment, but YouTube is the big boy, and you've got to play by the big boy's rules, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Akabans has been a member for 15 months. Thank you very much, sir. Everyone's saying Team Curry escaped to space when truth he ascended as Stratos. Ah, Sacrifice. That was a good game. Brandon for $50. Thank you. Got here late, but Carl, I reasoned my way to my conversion, and the Catholic view of synergia is that it is an assent of the will, not something felt. There is a lot of literature on this I can't mention, but the Dark Night of the Soul is one.
Well, I'm glad that it worked for you.
The feelings thing is recent. It confuses me as well. I think everyone in my generation gets a bit confused when we start talking about feeling religions, because they're like, what does feeling have to do with it? Like, I don't feel Christianity most days, actually. There are a few days where I get like emotional about it, but that's rare. Like, very rare. Nothing I do is really based on feeling, unless I'm being irrational. Like if someone pisses me off out of nowhere, and then I'm acting irrationally.
Yeah, but most things most people do are irrational.
Yeah, but I try to be rational. Usually when I do something irrational, it's because I fail to reason things through, and I let something get the better of me.
No, it's just most people do things by habit.
Yeah. The habits aren't themselves irrational. They can be.
But when you're engaging in a habit, you're not being rational. Like you're not thinking, literally. You're not reasoning through a thing.
Yeah, but when you founded a habit, unless something got the better of you.
I agree. And unless it's a bad habit, obviously. But I completely
so something
agree.
got the better.
I'm not saying habits are bad. Habits are very good, as long as they're good habits. But it's just a fact of life that most of the time we're not actually all that rational.
No, I agree with you. But that's a failure of reasoning. That's not that you should. Well, I was going to say should. I don't want to use the word should.
I don't even know if it's a failure. I think it's just normal. I think it's just completely normal.
Yes, I agree that it's common and normal. However, if you do reason something out and you find what the right answer is, unless something gets the better out of you.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Darkland, what do you think about changing some European countries' flags, especially the tricolour flag? They often represent liberal revolutions of the past.
Yeah.
Turn them all to crosses. Every last one.
Bring back the Napoleonic bees. I like Napoleon. Freyna, you get more income if you dominate. That is true, I suppose. And can't wait till you grow up and slaughter the hippie elves. That is about Overlord, I'm pretty sure. Boog, Mr. Logic, who is best pony? The important questions.
What does that mean?
He wants to know which of the My Little Pony characters you prefer.
Is that a cartoon?
It is.
I don't watch cartoons.
Well, that's too bad.
Well, now that
Is
everyone
this
looks
like a reference to the furries?
No, they would call themselves bronies, actually. It's a distinction.
Oh.
Very
Are
important.
they as degenerate as the bronies? Sorry, as the furries?
Oh, no, they're significantly worse.
There's worse than furries?
Oh, God, yes.
You know what? I don't want to know.
Listen, if you think the furries are degenerate, you haven't been on the internet for long enough.
I try to avoid some things.
sensible.
That's barely the baseline. Revira, evening, boys. Thoughts on the Beijing Robot Olympics? Funny, by the way. I did enjoy that, and good luck to the soldiers of the future, I guess.
Yeah, but the question is, why aren't we doing this?
Because we're retarded.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why are they doing the fun stuff?
Again, because we're retarded. Like, seriously, there was a story a while ago where the British Navy had to turn off a bunch of their radars because they realized that the Chinese who had installed them had installed spyware on them. Which is one of those things where, like, of course they've installed spyware on them. Are you retarded? Why didn't you check?
Yeah. Well, my government is retarded. You're all right.
Yeah. That's just the answer. They're retarded.
Yeah. Oh, that's so stupid.
Counter-structure? Isn't there a Christian socialism who want pretty much everyone to live in a monastery kind of deal?
I'm sure there are some Christians who think like that. I mean, there were monastics in the past. I wouldn't agree with it. I really wouldn't agree with it, and I'd argue Scripture does not agree with it, but oh well.
So Loxon Doppelgang, if Minecraft, in Minecraft, if the police shows up to oppress you, censored, you may make your area no-go zone or censored. Every cop that falls is a censored.
Yeah, I don't agree with the I was just following orders defense. So if in Minecraft some pillagers come to raid your village, you do whatever you can do. Whatever is reasonable.
Steel Void, you're thinking about it wrong. You memorize the lie as the truth. That way you won't have to remember what you lied about. Well, even better, you turn the lie into the truth as a fundamental part of your continued existence.
It sounds like a lot of work.
This seems very inefficient.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, not at all. Like, wokeism is built on this entire idea.
Yeah, it seems to be working very well in the short term. And it will
Yeah.
destroy itself very, very soon.
Yeah. Just to be clear, they're convinced that Nazis are everywhere. You know, like, they've not done a great job.
Somehow convinced that the Muslims they're mass importing will ally with them. They'll support transgenderism and the likes.
Steel Void, Tim Curry was the concierge of Home Alone 2.
Was he?
That might be. Alexander Cross, all the women worth having are taken. Yeah, that's another big thing I was actually going to raise as well. The problem is the competition for the handful of good women, there's a lot of it. And a lot of them are probably going to be wooed literally from high school, if not earlier. Halcyon Asher, constitutional monarchy is better than president or no monarch at all.
Wait, I remember that message. Are we really that far back?
If the scrolly thing isn't lying to me, we're closing in on the end.
Oh, I don't think we are.
I think we are. I'm optimistic.
All right.
I
I remember seeing that on stream. I saw that a while ago.
Well, maybe people stop donating afterwards, you know?
I've seen way more colorful messages since then, so...
With my grandparents not even being boomers, 4 even feels like a big number of children to want to have. Simply put, my birthrights to want to have a family and home, even if it's poverty to the modern world. Was sold off before I was born, and I'm asked to not hate these people and to gladly be called an extremist for wanting to be treated like actually I'm a human rather than less a creature or less a race. That too is a very common thing. There's going to be a very angry generation, and they'll have every reason to be angry as well because
Ignorant slut.
and the worst part is, like, it isn't even just that the previous generation burned the future to a stump. It's that they told you that you were the future, and that the next generation, the next future, the next bit of the future would be even better than this one.
Some of the things are just so needlessly cruel.
Well, okay. In the old generation's defense, there was genuine belief that the Golden Age would go on forever. Like, it's the blindness of the prosperous period, isn't it? Where you look around, everything is beautiful, everything is green, everything is getting cheaper, flying cars are right around the corner, and you're like, well, obviously this is just going to continue.
And they were jealous, too. They thought we'd inherit a future so much better than theirs, so they thought they owed us nothing.
They might as well burn it now.
Yeah.
There is a lot of that, though. Like, it's when you hear about the woman who sells all of her family's possessions, house and everything, and then spends it all on a cruise for the rest of her life, and you're like, ah. I mean, that is her prerogative, but... Sil Wilson, bet this is not the last chat either. Lol. Halcyon Asher, Sue Wilson, 73 was right. His super chat wasn't the last. Tanushi, obligatory mine gouge question for the esteemed guest. On the topic, I bought myself a Gladius for home defense as it is a handy indoors. Conquers Fund. Right, chat wants to know basic logic. Do you know what a main gouge is? Or goosh.
A main goosh?
Yes, main goosh, gouge. I don't even know how to pronounce it.
I don't know what that is. Could I see it spelled?
Gauche.
I'm looking up the meaning.
Could you use it in a sentence?
Someone lacking social grace or tact or refinement. So what was the question again?
What it is, and the answer is it's a parrying dagger, often used along with a rapier.
Oh, because what I found was completely different. What I found is someone lacking social grace.
Might be how it got its name.
Might be. See, Wilson, forgot to say these donations are to boost Colonel von Kochman in that game arch. Colonel von Kochman, very well. Simulation. For the people who say Work 1.0 was crazy, ask them what policies from Work 1.0 they disagree with. Oh, yeah, that's a good point, yeah.
Yeah, they all agree with it all. These people are fucking liars.
They'll just say they don't like the way they went about it.
Yep.
Yeah, they'll probably moral fag a little bit. Like, well, I agree with everything, but they were mean about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Harry, the human substitute rancor. The real problem is not we don't know how to win. It is we were told for XX years that we just had to admit Christianity was right. And we don't want to admit we made a mistake for 20 plus years. Though, shut your mouth and get back to church. The end. Just admit you were wrong. The end. Christianity is right.
Okay, that was a very strangely constructed sentence, and I don't know his meaning. It's either, it's one opposite or the other is what I think he means.
I think what he means is there's been entire generations basically built on the assumption, and the assumption presented by the church as well, that Christianity was always kind of wrong and dumb and cringe. And they've built a lot of their opinions of the world on that. And so now that they're being asked to look at that and go like, well, maybe it wasn't, then the knee-jerk reaction, and this is one of those cerebral things, right, where I'm very much on Sargon's position now that Christianity is the best solution we have at the moment, so fuck it, get in line. But a lot of perhaps not quite as... I don't want to use the word cerebral because it sounds too full of myself, but it is definitely a thing that most people don't think about politics. They simply just accept the world as is, and if your world as is you've been told Christianity isn't the answer for 20 years, and then somebody tells you it is, your natural reaction is going to be, but I don't like that.
No, I get that, yeah. I know what he's referring to.
Varlock,
perhaps there's more to it, though. Because, so we talk about this since the beginning of the stream. It's the feelings thing, and this isn't just something that I found out because Sargon said it today. It's like, I've genuinely been confused. I don't have a frame of reference to know what people mean when they feel that their religion is true. That doesn't even compute for me. I don't know where that was placed into that generation. It's a widespread thing. Pretty much everyone of the older generation thinks this way. I don't even fully know what they mean. Do they mean they get goosebumps when they believe something? I don't.
No,
I don't have
what they mean is this intrinsic sense that there's a truth to it. There's no getting away from. Basically, Zoomer autism is going to have to figure out how to square the circle.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't know what the feeling is.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah, well, there we go.
This is some weird thing that I'm not familiar with. The scriptures don't talk about it. I'll figure out eventually, I guess.
Yep, this is Zoomer autism. You got to figure this out. Like, there's no choice about it.
It seems like a psyop, to be entirely honest. They psyop the generation.
I think it's not just one generation. People will just have it as a long-held prejudice, basically.
Right, but that's something I can understand. It's when the feeling is the determinant for the truth. That's where things get a little weird. I get having a feeling that makes you want to reject something. That I get. I get feeling that something being true would be nice. But it's that when it comes to my religion is true because I feel that way, I wouldn't even know what feeling that would be.
Wow. Got to figure it out.
I don't know what it is. Is feeling even the right word?
Yep.
It's
the only word we've got. This is the thing.
Okay.
I said that earlier. It's the only word we've got for it.
Feel free to suggest another one.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys mean, though. That's the crazy part.
Well, figure it out, fucking young
Our
guy, I
generation
guess.
is too autistic, or we're not psyoped. One of the two. Feel
The thing is,
something.
I think most Zoomers are psyops. You know, that's the problem. Which is why they'll vote for Green parties.
Oh, God. The entire Green Party is nothing but a fucking psyop.
Yeah. And it's nothing but fucking Zoomer women and Muslims.
No, I agree with that, yeah. But like, my experience when it's evangelizing to Zoomers, and usually they say, because they've always been taught they have to feel Christianity, and I just say, okay, well, why do you have to feel it? Do you agree with me? And it's like, oh, I don't have to feel it. Oh, wonderful. and then we can continue. We can actually have a conversation after that. That's usually how it goes. But if I try to
like
an older
generation,
if I talk with an older generation, it's like, well, I don't feel it. It's like, okay, you don't have to feel it. It's like, no, I have to feel it. It's like, okay, I don't know what you have to feel. If I did, I'd help you.
Such an incredible raw amount of autism in the Zoomers.
Yes,
I do enjoy it.
Varlock, to win Minecraft, we need infrastructure to organize that are not under opposition control. Comms, water supplies, means of trade with allies, and about a million other things, yes.
Yeah.
How did the human substitute rank? Hey, Arch, up to date. UCK Boomer, the H1B is more prove I deserve to sue people over G-Lock. I could hire you, but slave labor. You are arguing by agreeing they took away the deal but demand only the young stand to a deal. Oh no, I agree, you're getting fucked. I'm trying to change it. I just don't know how
Everyone's
yet.
getting fucked, bro.
But now the penis is inevitable. You just... We'll try to find a way to dodge it, but I'm not making any promises. Super Kaji, well then, in the interest of fostering amity, who is your favorite pony? There you go, the question will not stop. You're just going to have to invent a pony name now.
What would I even call a pony? I grew up in a ranch, my grandparents' ranch. We had a bunch of names for the different horses there.
There you go, just pick one of those and that'll be your favorite pony.
I mean, there was one that didn't bite, which I quite liked.
Heresy,
I think we called her
Fire is
Ocean.
the answer.
There you go. Basic Logic's favorite pony is Ocean.
Watch that be like an actual thing. Like an actual name of one of their characters.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Like, Ocean's a pretty generic name, I think, for a horse.
Yeah.
But
Madonna?
it's because all the options I had, the other one bit my uncle's hand, so I was looking to pick that one. On the other hand, the Ocean was perfectly fine. I could pet Ocean as much as I wanted at the ranch. So...
Well, I'm being reliably informed now that whilst there is not a pony called Ocean, there's a race of ocean ponies. So,
What?
close enough for government work.
Well, I can guarantee you my horse was not a seahorse.
Madara, hello, Arch and Sargon. I still think Despot of Antrim would be a good guest. He said he'd love to have a go. Despot of Antrim.
He's brilliant. He does great movie reviews.
Okay, I shall make a note of it. How did the human substitute rank? This is only more of a reason all colleges deserve to be sued. Do this and we promise you jobs. Oh, you signed this and no jobs. Whistles is innocent like a cartoon. Isn't legally fair unless you go. Well, the problem is they haven't promised you a job. They just told you that they were going to promise you a job. And then they never did.
Yeah, they groomed you since you were a kid to believe it. It's not actually in the contract.
Yeah. Literally groomed as a kid to believe that this is prestigious, this will get you a job, this is the only way to succeed, and don't become a grubby man working with his hands. That is of the lower caste. Disgusting.
Yeah.
Even as the grubby lower caste now owns a business employing 13 people and lives in a small castle.
Well, he actually owns his own fucking house.
Yes.
And also, he's happy.
He is.
Like, he goes to the pub with his mates. He goes home to his wife. Like that guy is a happy guy.
G-Blade, what if Christianity banned porn in my state? Canary is dead. We're not going to get into the porn debate now because that would go on for another hour.
There's no debate. Stop being a degenerate.
There you go. That's exactly what I fucking mean. God, socialism is so terrible because it goes against basic human nature. Now, Christianity, what's your position on every human being being programmed to jerk off?
You got me. The Christianity debunked.
I heard the human substitute rank. I hopes I changed the legal rules. Now what? Now what indeed? Marksman, Logic, did you ever play Command and Conquer 3?
I have
For
not.
fuck's sake.
That's the one where it has the famous space only place not touched by capitalism. Yes, okay.
That is that one.
I know that clip. So
Yeah.
Well, he's either referring to Tiberium Wars, which is Command and Conquer 3, or he's referring to Red Alert 3.
I've listened to Red Alert theme songs, and they're pretty good.
Red Alert 2 is definitely like one of the all-time classics ever. 3 is still good, but it doesn't live up to 2. Boog, you don't get Robot Olympics because you sent all manufacturing over to China, so now everything costs way too much to build. And we gave them robots. Nordstrom, a crazy couple of days. We lost Dolly Parton, Tim Curry, and now Optimus Prime. Yep. And it's only going to get worse. Listen, all of your celebrities are in their 80s and fucking 90s.
Yeah.
Boog, how do you expect to bring in more people to the right wing when you don't know about one of the most right-wing shows to be made in decades? MLP. That's a good point, Basic Logic. How are you going to appeal to the right wing without the ponies?
Given that you told me it's worse than the furries, if that's the most right-wing thing, I might have to switch sides, to be honest.
Well, listen, they've been persecuted by the left wing for generations.
Maybe civilizational self-destruction is actually valid. If that's the right wing, maybe the leftists are onto something.
See, I'm far more forgiving than him. I allowed the bronies, the furries, all of them. I am a great big tent. Alexander Cross, there's no end to the super chat, Snowboy. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're getting towards a finale now.
There has to be some end to it.
Sinestro, the hope of many Zoomers is to punish General Cronids before generation Cronoids before they die. Not sorry, Sargon.
I didn't understand that, man.
Is Cronoid another way of saying Gen X?
I'm assuming so. Although I do like this idea that there's an entire generation of young people.
I don't despise the Gen X as much as I despise boomers and millennials.
Yeah, Gen X are really not that bad. Like,
I can't really blame you guys for everything, just some things.
Well, the worst thing is Gen X isn't really like, it wasn't a big, powerful generation, So it's not really responsible for anything. So we can't even take credit for anything good.
No, Gen X was largely the generation that was raised during like the booming times, the good times, and we're told that we were going to be given power, basically, and then that never happened.
No, it's still all fucking boomers in charge.
Mm-hmm. So Alex Adamson considers some people use "I feel" to mean "I think."
No, I know that. But then when it comes to actual, like, lacking a feeling to determine truth, that's where I start getting confused. Is that when an idea doesn't offend you?
When I step into a church, I expect to get a warm, tingly feeling suffusing my being at the presence of God.
I've heard that. I've actually heard that. I've heard people say things like Holy Spirit goosebumps. And I can tell you what I felt at that moment. I felt homicidal rage when I heard that.
But this is what spirituality is to most people.
The expectations of the goosebumps. I like how we've drilled down now. What is spirituality? Goosebump expectation.
The thing is, any religion, any form of spirituality can give you goosebumps and make you emotional. So it's not a way of determining which religion is true.
Yeah, but the problem is, right, is it makes it sound from the Zoomer position that you're not capable of coming into contact with transcendence.
Maybe we're not. Well, when we go to church, I can guarantee you we don't, because it's like slop, absolute slop Christian pop music, the most dog crap sermons possible, absolutely no conviction in things.
But this is why...
Is it that Gen Z is not capable of transcendence, or is it that we've not been exposed to transcendent things because the previous generations broke it? The closest...
Hey, I'm not saying it's your fault or that's not the case. But what I mean is the instrumentalization of Christianity, I don't think is going to be sufficient.
Well, I agree that you actually need to believe it's true. But what I mean by believe isn't I got some goosebumps. Once I've established that something is true, then I can build a narrative around it. If I can build a narrative around it and it's a beautiful narrative, I will be moved in a transcendental way. In the same way that every story works.
Yeah, but again, like the instrumentalization of it isn't a true belief.
Do I have to feel something for it to be true?
Yes. For a religion, you have to feel something. I think that's correct.
I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree. I find the story of Christianity incredibly moving and powerful emotionally.
Okay.
But it wouldn't have that impact if I didn't believe it were true.
Are you ready?
Me knowing it's true is a prerequisite for that emotional experience. If it was just like a movie, it's like, okay, it'll be a nice movie. Some people cry at movies. I've never cried to a movie, but I get that. But it would still just be a movie. Its impact is the fact that it's true. Just like the story of a war hero. The fact that he actually sacrificed himself or something to save someone else. The fact that he actually did it.
Yeah, but I can't make Zoomers human.
Heresy's the question.
Well,
The answer.
I'd rather be not human than whatever has been going on for the last couple of decades.
Yeah.
Grizzly, another wholesome book recommendation for Arch, Resonant Evolution by J.K. and on Elon's social media site, YouTube censoring for some reason. Resonant Evolution. So I'll make a note of that too. Belda, ask Chad Diversity about it next time you talk to him. He would be able to explain what we mean by feeling it is true. Yeah, actually, you and Chad would probably get along wonderfully. The malcontent monarchy has something that democracy and communism doesn't. Legacy. Legality? Legacy? Legacy. There we go. Legacy. English. Politicians only care about the present and vote, not the future.
Yep, very standard argument. Time preference. Valid.
Mr. Twisted Frenzy, is this feeling for Christianity's question similar to how do you think you'd feel if you didn't eat breakfast this morning question? I think it basically...
But I did eat breakfast.
There is an expectation that spirituality will feel spiritual. And therefore, as we have defined it as something spiritual, if we don't feel spiritual, we're just going to go, well, that wasn't it, obviously.
Trick or
Clearly, the
treat.
solution is just to drug everyone the moment they enter the church. Don't tell them about it.
I
They'll
mean,
have a
I
real
don't
spiritual
object to this
experience then.
idea. Like, listen, okay. If Christian morality is what we want to base the world on, and I agree, fuck it. Let's turn the church into a goddamn celebration. Bright lights, banners, censors, fucking parties. Make it incredible. Make people step in there and go like, holy shit. I am getting goosebumps.
So irreverent, though. That's the thing. Like, I've seen so many of the older generation talking about, we need to make our churches more approachable. We need more contemporary music. We need to look like a concert. And we go in there and it's like, oh, there's no actual conviction here. There's no power here because it's all just slop that's trying to get my attention. It doesn't stand on its own principle.
Well, the mistake there is contemporary. No, fuck. Gregorian chants is what I want.
Unironically,
That's what's in the church that I go to.
that would be so much better. That should be new.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
It is. It's actually nice.
Simulation. I think Tim Pool's point is appropriate. The color red exists and some people can't see it. God exists, but some people can't feel it. Maybe.
Yeah, we call those people Zoomers.
Trick or treat. Can I
Is
say
feeling the
treat?
determinants of faith? I don't see any support for that in scripture whatsoever.
Yes, feeling is the determinant of faith. That's a good way
Okay,
of phrasing it.
atheist.
Yes. Yeah, but that's why I'm a fucking atheist.
And why the majority position
I
is
will
that.
have to agree to disagree that feeling is the determining if something is true.
I didn't say if it was true. I said faith.
Well, faith is if you believe in something. If you believe in something, you believe it's true. That's what believing means.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something more to it though. But like, it's not about propositional truth or falsity.
It's not. It doesn't stop at just these are the facts. You have to go beyond that.
Yeah, but it also doesn't involve necessarily a syllogistic. This is true and therefore.
Right. It goes beyond that.
Yeah, it's outside of the
Okay.
realm of propositional logic.
Mr. Francie, 2 minute super chats. Oh, you ought to have your problems, Art. Oh no, I agree. I'm incredibly grateful, as always. But I am also Norwegian, which means that imposing on anyone is my greatest fear. And I've held Sargon for like an hour and a half beyond his bedtime, so...
Yeah, I am actually going to have to go to bed. It's not right. So, but Logic, it's lovely to meet you, man. This was a
Lovely to meet you
really,
as well.
really, really interesting conversation. Really enjoyed it. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
I've enjoyed the conversation as well.
Yeah, no, it's been very, very good. Yeah, I hope you come back on sometime and we carry on and do this again.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, wonderful. Right, okay. Right, well, speak to you all later, chaps. Have a good evening.
See you
Good
later,
evening.
Sargon. Any of you ever need to bounce too, by the way, Logic, do let me know. It's fine.
Sorry, a bounce?
Bounce, as in leave.
Oh, well, I'm good for a few minutes.
Okay. Oh, a
So
few
if
minutes.
Whatever plans you have, well, I can extend that. Whatever plans you do have, I can make do.
The plan was 2 hours. We're past the plan.
We're well past the plan.
No plan survives contact with the enemy.
Wait, we've been here for
Akabans?
3 hours and a half. How was the plan 2 hours? We're 3 hours and a half in.
Well, see, we the original plan was 2 hours. I think we've never actually managed to reach that at any point. But, theoretically, it remains the theoretical.
No, like, I get what you mean. It's like, okay, it was 2 hours. We ended up going to 30. It's like, all right, well, we aimed for 2 hours, and then it just didn't happen that way. In this case, it's like 2 hours is a suggestion. It's not an aim.
Listen, I stopped 40 minutes before the end time. I thought that would be plenty.
All right. Your audience was too generous. That's the issue.
Akabans, you allow all of them because you are one, Art. Yes, I will wear many hats. The only ones I'll keep out of my church are the Vor people. I don't like the Vor people. They freak me out. Alexander Cross, the fact that many churches have sold the experience as feeling the Holy Spirit goes goosebumps absolutely doesn't help. That's probably true as well. So definitely in a lot of teaching, because we had we had two distinct classes in school when I was a kid. It was Christianity and views of life, basically, where Christianity was the focal point, but we were taught about all the religions and views of life. And it never really preached that Christianity was correct. It merely presented it as yet another theoretical view of the world, and it leaned heavily in on the idea that those who were Christian, in either history or currently, they had something special happen to them. Like they could feel the thing. And so everybody in the classroom who didn't feel the thing obviously then assumed, well, I don't feel the thing, so I guess
not
that's
for
not
me. Yeah, it just sounds so stupid to me, frankly. Just full disclosure. It's like, why do you need to feel some? Have your feelings never led you astray? Have you never had the feeling that was like, you know what? I'm feeling this thing, but I know it's wrong. Let me set it aside. I thought controlling your feelings was just a part of growing up.
That's true. But it's the expectation that has been created by indoctrination, and it's going to take a fair bit of counter indoctrination to begin getting rid of it.
Yep.
Subakaji, have you tried any of the other religions? They're all pretty much the same. Reverend Lovejoy. I mean, unironically, that was an argument made during the Christianity education at my school. It was like, listen, Christianity is just another religion. Would you like to try some other ones? And I think that probably was one of the things that also turned a lot of people off from it to begin with, because if this is just some silly thing that is interchangeable with every other silly thing, then fuck, why should I bother?
Well, yeah, if the religion is determined by feelings are just chemical reactions. Any religion can elicit those feelings.
Hmm. And if the people
Scripture does
preaching
say
that
the heart
religion,
is deceitful above all things, so you shouldn't trust it.
yeah, and if the preachers of that religion puts forward that position, well, I mean, he's supposed to be the authority, right?
Yeah.
Holy Hydra, Christianity lacks the pomp and pageantry of yesteryears. The feelings would be a validation of the masses around you, which is probably only be found in things like protests today, hence the Holy Mass. Unironically, it's like to bring up the protests is a good thing, because protests are definitely a spiritual experience for the left. That is their prayers. You go to a place, everyone believes the same. It's loud, it's chanting, everyone's happy, everybody's sharing good feelings and bonding together.
Yeah, it's a more successful church than the contemporary churches.
Alexander Cross, my religious experience has been starting with the idea of who the God of my forefathers is. From there, it was easy to find my way.
But what if your forefathers wasn't? Believed in some nonsense?
My forefathers were atheists. Their fathers were atheists.
Leftists love to deny truth, but if you're not going to be a leftist, you kind of have to admit that truth is something objective. And so you're going to have to work with universal truths. That's the next logical step. If it's untrue just by changing who your forefather is, then it's not the best way of determining objective truth. Although, obviously, respect your forefathers. They got you to where you are. In fact, I love certain pagan traditions. The best pagan tradition is converting to Christianity, by far. You should follow those pagans.
The pagans. Yeah, I have a sneaking suspicion there's going to be a counter argument with okay, but, well, if it's just about truth, pagantry sounds fun.
Trick or treat.
Which I agree, by the way, pagantry is a LARP. It's a fucking LARP. And hey, I don't mind it. It's a LARP. Have fun LARPing. But I'm pretty sure Odin isn't real. It hurts me to say that, but I'm relatively convinced.
Hey, but maybe you feel he's true. I don't know. Is that how Gen X thinks about it? Are you Gen X as well?
Maybe I should. I'm Y, I think. Generation Y, actually.
A millennial.
Sort of, yes.
You. Messing with you. But I guess the millennials also have the feelings thing, necessity for spiritual.
Oh, definitely. Like, you gotta remember, the churches haven't changed. Like, if the source of supposed spirituality continues to argue that religion isn't real, then everybody who listens to it is also going to assume that religion isn't real.
Yeah. Ironically, that becomes a religion in and of itself.
Yes, it very much so does.
Yeah. And is that determined, again, you feel that's true? Well, I'm not sure you particularly, but is that felt to be true, or is that...
I haven't given it enough thought to really come up with a decent point of view on it, because I do think I'm a bit spiritual, just out of hope. Like, I believe in the soul, and because I've seen a ghost, so I'm like, okay, well, ghosts are real, so I'm going to have to believe in the soul. But where I go from there, I'm not sure.
Okay, well, in a ghost question, you have to ask yourself, did you actually see it? Did your mind play a trick on you?
Nope, I saw it. I believe it. I believe it 100%. 100% convinced.
No, like, that's evidence in favor.
Yes.
Is that the only evidence?
Well, it's the only evidence I have of ghosts.
Okay, so the only thing you're relying on is what you saw.
Yes, because it's my experience.
Okay. And would you be able to reason your way to that as well? Like, just extra evidence, perhaps? Like, logically, would it make sense for ghosts to exist? I'm not entering my opinion of whether or not they exist. It's just a matter of...
Well, I think in my case, the logic has been extrapolated simply by having seen it. And so I'm like, okay, well, ghosts are real. And I haven't given that enough thought to really answer what the other logical arguments would even be.
Well, you really trust your eyes, then.
I do, because this fucking sight is burned into my eyeballs to this day. So I'm like, yep.
Again, I'm not insulting you here, but that's also what people who have hallucinations say.
And if I was in a position that could have been explained by a hallucination, I would doubt it, but I wasn't. And so I haven't found a logical explanation for why it wouldn't have been real. Basically, I've reasoned myself into this position by experiencing it, and I have yet to be reasoned out of it by any counter-argument.
No, like, fair enough. Like, I'm not even trying to counter the ghost situation. You can believe them or not. It's just, is that all you're going to rely on? It seems a little thin, don't you think?
Well,
like, it's a strong claim you've made. Ghosts exist, and you're saying that very strongly. Then, if we extrapolate that like a religious point of view, if you say, okay, well, I saw a ghost, therefore they're true. Okay, well, I haven't seen one.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm not going to even try to convince you that they're real. I'm just going to be like,
try. But if we were to try and determine what objective truth is, now we run into an issue. Because I want to know objectively what's true. Are there ghosts?
Heresy's the question.
Well,
Fire
the question is if we can prove it. As the objective truth then becomes a question of can we prove it? Or if we can convince it.
I don't care about objective proof here. Like, we don't need 100% certainty on this. I don't need 100% certainty when I walk on a plane. So I need some way of reasoning through that it's actually wise for me to get on a plane.
But now we're talking about self-interest, basically.
We're talking about probability.
Probability and self-interest. So the probability is, well, it's not going to fall down, probably. And I would really like to get on the plane.
Yeah, I would really like to not die and get where I need to be. And I also would really like to know what the objective truth about ghosts are.
Yes. I would love to know the objective truth about ghosts too, but I've never considered it enough to look into it. I've literally just had, oh, well, I've seen a ghost, therefore ghosts are real.
Okay.
And I do, it's a certainty of mine, which might be the same for religion as well. It's like, well, I have experienced religion. This seems good to me. I believe it.
Oh yeah, I dropped my atheist phase after a spiritual experience. I was like, wait a second, I just had a spiritual experience. What's going on? This conflicts with all my beliefs. So then I looked into it, because what if I went insane during that period of time? That could have happened. I don't think I went insane. I'm quite certain about what I saw, what I heard. Right? but that's a possibility.
Yeah.
And so I looked into the reasoning behind it, and I found the reasoning very compelling. So even if my senses failed me, I found the logic of it very compelling.
Flint, I am a Zoomer that works in trade, and I am married, have a house and 2 kids. What do I win? Well, you have already won. The woman and the 2 children are your prize.
Yep, that's as far as the Zoomers can go, my friend.
Yep.
Good job,
Nothing
move
else.
on.
That's the end of life, at the end of the game. Shoot me dead. Once you find motivation, life can move fast. 2024, borderline neat after applications failed due to being a white male, till meeting my wife in church. December, married by May 2025, first kid June 2026. Good luck, mates. Yep. Well, it's all about actually finding someone, isn't it? And that can be...
Yeah, what is this power? How do you find a wife in church these days?
So, some people just find women, and they're like, oh yeah, no, I've dated my wife for 30 years. Like, oh, fuck, well.
Oh yeah, I met my wife. We were childhood friends. Like, oh, isn't that lucky?
That is lucky. Although, like, even then, reality can be harsh. I knew a guy who'd started dating his wife in, like, high school, like, when they were, like, 19, 18, something. And they were married for, like, 20 years. And then, middle age hit, menopause, and she just fucking flipped into an entirely new person and disowned him and got a divorce and took the children and everything. Like, literally over the course of a year.
Yikes.
Yeah, yikes. Ethan Grant loves Shad, but he's a Mormon. He does have magical underwear. It is true.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, are you not aware of the Mormons and their magical underwear?
I know about Mormons. I did not know about their magical underwear.
Yeah, no, so this is a whole thing. The Mormons have a special garment which consists of like a pair of like pants and top. I think it's like sewn together. And this is like their temple wear, which means it's incredibly important and you need to wear it basically all the time.
Uh-huh.
Yes. And it's very holy. And I couldn't
I'm
explain
assuming
to
they
you
have multiple
accurately the
pairs
extent
because-
of their holiness,
Sure.
but...
Surely at some point they have to wash it, right? So they have like pairs of that holy...
Oh, yes, they do have
underwear.
pairs, yes.
Okay. At least that.
They do wash it. It'd be a little bit objectionable if they're just like, this is yours. Oh, do I have another one? Nope.
Not as gross as some old religions, but still pretty weird.
And I guess you just have to bathe with it on. Yeah?
Thanks.
If God doesn't say the underwear goes off, then, well...
I remember doing a video on Mormons, and the Mormon audience of mine did not appreciate it.
Heresy's the question. Fire is the answer.
Alexander Cross.
Doesn't help that I'm very aggressive, but oh well. Sorry, please go ahead.
The god that guided them to build the best thing this world has ever seen. I figure they found something good. Well, that's the thing. The liberals would argue that liberalism is what guided them to build the best thing they'd ever seen.
Yeah, you kind of have to define what is meant by good. I agree with you, but you kind of have to define those terms.
Yeah, boy Porch. Hail, Basic Logic. I've been seeing your videos everywhere recently. Congratulations on your channel taking off. Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
It is good to see. The malcontent, I find it funny that today more people believe in the 4 chaos gods than the pagan gods and the fae. Rage, deceit, corruption, and pleasure. To be fair, rage, deceit, corruption, and pleasure are fairly common gods.
Yeah.
Tanushi, in my belief, ghosts aren't lingering spirits of the departed as the dead are unaware, so ghosts are either metaphysical echoes or mimicking spirits. See, my belief in ghosts exists from 1, the seeing one, and 2, having a haunted house in our family, where basically just weird shit happens, nobody can explain why.
Maybe if you guys wear some magical underwear, it'll stop happening.
Maybe. Like, no shit. My grandmother had a I don't know, like she had like a thyroid imbalance, like her legs constantly hurt and stuff, and it was completely chronic. And my father brought, I shit ye not, a shaman from back in the old village. He came, he did his thing, and she was fixed. And I'm sitting there like, okay, probably a placebo effect, but that was fucking weird.
Probably.
Who knows? Yeah,
It's
probably
evidence in
placebo.
favor of his thing, so you have to then just use that evidence and then reason it through what makes sense, what doesn't, like everything else.
Yep. How did the humans substitute Ranka for another 50? You've been incredibly generous today. Thank you very much, sir. I didn't feel like the base of the pyramid. My culture was not right about everything. Therefore, I had to admit my culture was wrong about the everything because science doesn't feel like Christianity's right. Okay,
Guys, trust the science's feelings on Christianity.
You can feel like it's hot in winter all you like because your science makes a heating system. You could choose to feel like you're wrong, but shut up, you are just wrong. Well, the problem is, science has made a very convincing argument for its position. A very convincing argument, because they can go, look, and throw a ball up in the air. I predict that comes down. And it's kept doing that for so long that it's become not a religion, because that's a little bit too much of a, like, generalistic word of this, but it has become a very commonly accepted ability to model reality. And anything that models reality becomes popular because they can prophesize a thing and it comes true and people go, oh, how did you know that? Well, let me explain.
Yeah, it's just wisdom. It's very cool.
Mhm.
There's nothing wrong with science. There's a lot wrong with scientism, the aesthetic of science. Because most people are idiots and they can't actually follow through with the science, and that includes me every time I go into a plane. You have to rely on other things that aren't the science. As long as you're honest that you're not relying on the science, you're relying on the aesthetic of science, you can keep that in check. But the moment you start confusing the aesthetic of science for the science, which is what the woke leftists do when they start worshipping credentials, or they start listing 1 billion links in their description because that proves their point because some people with degrees say the thing that they agree with in the conclusion, that's a problem. And that's what we have.
Yes. And this also is an end result of basically having this thing prove itself repeatedly. And this is, yet again, most people don't think about this stuff. They simply exist in the world thinking about their own immediate concerns. And so you have things like the Wu flu, where everybody goes, well, the science says this. And everybody goes, well, okay, well, fine if the scientist says this. And then, of course, it turns out that the scientist can actually be wrong as well, because sometimes the science... well, one, it can be wrong, and two, it can be used for malicious purposes.
Science is just us trying to recognize patterns and predict things based on the data we collect. We've been doing that for centuries. We formalized the process recently, but it's the same thing as always. The moment you start worshipping your own deduction, that becomes a problem very soon, especially start worshipping someone else's deduction.
Mm-hmm. Alexander Cross, I define terms, but I'm poor. That is unfortunate.
That's a shame.
Shoot me dead. At church, volunteer. Be seen doing good things. We have breakfast buffet. I helped old ladies, no young ladies that don't go to church. There's a nice man at church. From an old lady, got my wife. Like, that's... I am happy that worked for you, but I like around here, if an old person tells you there's a nice person at church, they
don't
would laugh
believe
their
them.
ass off.
For me, in my case, you just wouldn't believe the old ladies at church.
Yep.
Like, you'd look at what the old ladies at church do, and it's like, ha, no, thank you.
Yes.
Whatever your virtue system is, I don't want it.
In fact, I have built my entire world on being the opposite of your virtue system.
Yep.
Harry, the human substitute Rancor. Your ego can lead you as much down the path of I don't want to admit wrong, okay? Scientifically prove the afterlife isn't real by endgaming yourself, and prove God isn't real, then come back. If you can't do that, then shut up.
Kind of a cop-out. I get the sentiment, but this is a bit of a cop-out argument.
Yes, it also is like, well, if you can't prove the counter, like, okay, but if you arrive at the position of their strength, where they go, okay, but prove the positive.
I don't like this. I don't feel this argument is good. I'm not going to explain. It's just the feelings. I don't get argument goosebumps when I read this one out.
Well, the problem is we've already gone through this with the new atheist right, basically, and dunking on Christians. Now, a lot of that were the Christians simply not being willing to defend their beliefs. But there's definitely a lot of challenges if you try to engage this on a purely rational level.
Yeah, especially for the atheists. Especially if they're not picking on retards.
Varlock, I'm 31. My wife was a blue hair. Now she's dancing in the kitchen with our little one in between making sourdough. Just followed what was right. Good.
Okay, whatever Mossad psyop you figured out, mind DMing it to me sometime later.
Like, literally, these days, it's just about throwing out as wide a fucking net as you possibly can and then going through the goddamn motions.
It's just so tedious. I have better things to do with my life.
Well, that's that's the man thing, isn't it? Well, like, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to build something. And then you're sitting there many years later going, fuck. Now what?
I'll contact them at least. I'll buy one.
Well, that is indeed another and far more practical solution more often than not. Listen, I'm sure Russia will invade some other Eastern Slav country and voila. And finally, the very last super chat. Harry saying, and stop trying to be deconstructive to the current culture. I'm sorry, really am, but I've been asked for 20 plus years to be told I'm wrong now. Atheists have to admit they were wrong for at least a year when it comes to culture.
Well, they have. They'll keep destroying culture, but they have admitted they were wrong. Like, look at, what was his name, actually? Richard Dawkins? No. Charles Dawkins? No. Some guy whose name is Dawkins, he said he was a cultural Christian.
Probably Richard, I'm assuming.
Old guy, very pretentious.
Yes.
Wrote several books. Okay. Yeah.
That would be Richard Dawkins, probably.
Yep.
And there's also the fact that what the entire atheism thing as well has kind of become a little unfairly lambasted because of its vulnerability. Atheism itself came out from the idea of, how do I put this? A relatively neutral position initially of going like, well, I don't know if I believe in anything, I'm open to all kinds of things. And then it became a political tool very quickly, where it became about dunking on Christianity. And the reason for that was because it was very, very easy, because Christianity didn't really have an interest in defending itself. And so because it became easy, it became popular, and that made it a vehicle for leftism, which eventually transformed into less of atheism, more of nihilism.
Yeah. Well, there's more to it than that. Like, I would argue that atheism is just an illogical position because material is not self-sufficient. So you must concede at least the deist position. And then the argument from, like, okay, are we going to stop at deism or are we going to a different religion? That's a separate conversation. But I do consider atheism just an illogical position. I'm kind of embarrassed that I was an atheist for so long because I clearly just didn't think about it for long enough.
And now that we are at an end, I will take that opportunity to say thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you for your incredibly generous donations. Thank you for all of your likes as well. And we reached the stretch goal and surpassed it. Thank you very much, chat. You've done wonderfully today. I will not be like Sargon. I will not beat you. I will pet you kindly and lovingly. Prefer me. I'm the kind uncle.
What? That's your outro?
Well, I gotta prime them against Sargon, because otherwise he'll prime them against me, and it's common.
Oh, there's a rivalry going. Oh, you have no idea how confused I was there for a second.
Listen, chat are our trustees. They're held in common ownership between me and Sargon, so we need to compete over their affections.
All right, guys, subscribe to Arch.
Correct. They only have so many hours in the day. I need them to focus on me instead of Sargon, so we need to slowly build him down.
The most subversive thing I've ever heard.
Absolutely.
Wait, is Based of True doing the same thing on my streams?
Yes.
Can't have that.
Yes,
No.
he is.
No, wait. I'll have to ask him about this.
Oh, and he'll tell you, like, yes, of course I am.
Oh, no.
Listen, if he says he isn't, that's proof that he is.
And if he says he is, that's also proof that he is?
Correct.
Just admitted it, right? Yeah.
He did. And thank you, Base Logic, for coming on. It has been lovely. Thank you very much.
Thank you as well.
And until next time, chat, have a very good night.